Let's roll a die to see what this session will be like. That's a natural 1.
How to roll?
That's
11.
foretelling. That's it. You just rolled whether or not Mel would die or not.
Yeah, that tracks.
Is there something about like 3 1s? Is that like a thing? Because technically, you with your 11, that would be 3 1s.
So, Iollus, you are waiting with Eve and Yophael, and you are in the town square right now. Right now, you're just sort of standing there. What do you do?
We wait, because we were told to wait in the town square for Eddie to show up. And Iollus does not know that anything has gone wrong. So he's just, like, hanging out, making very bad small talk.
With who?
Definitely trying to talk to Yophael. Like, so, where were you born? He raises a hand. Were you born?
No, I was not born.
So, where did you grow up?
I evolved from a great tree, so I've been before I knew.
And he's just like,
So I'm
head in hands.
I'm from the what we call the Great Hollow. It's a forest of environment. But I was before I knew. So
That is a pretty universal experience, I think.
what do you mean?
Being as a small child and then as you grow up, being more aware.
Well, no, I mean that my body was, but Yophael wasn't until 200 years ago.
He, like, takes a second
250.
and, like, processes that.
How long have I been around?
Did you have,
Close to we'll compromise at 250.
siblings when you were growing up?
We don't have family units.
That kind of takes him as, like, you have no mother or father.
No, my mother is the Great Hollow. I came from the Great Hollow. I will return to the Great Hollow.
That sounds very lonely.
If you are born to be a social creature and forced to live my life, sure.
Well, then, are you? I see you have a friend in Eve.
Yes. Do you believe the trees are lonely in the forest?
I believe they have company. I
So do
believe
I.
they have grown up with each other.
I've said I don't have family units, but I have kin who are like me.
Were they around when you were young?
I'm one of the older ones, so I've seen a lot more come to be over the last 100, 150 years.
Scratches his head for a second.
But everyone looks like me, is as tall as me. I see human beings, and there's little humans, and then there's big humans, and then they kind of stop growing. Whereas I've been the same size since I've woken up.
So, what is it that you are doing here?
I have been tasked by what I understand to be a spectral force of nature, but what Eve understands to be Selioim. We have a disagreement, but we have a unified understanding of the kind spirit that we both choose to commit ourselves to.
So you have no choice?
I may do as I will, but I think I believe the choice that I have is limited to what I want.
Was?
I believe it's within my nature to simply choose things that I want, and I wish to serve dear little Eve.
So... no?
I suppose if I wanted to, maybe I could choose to not do what I want, but I don't know why I would do what I don't want to do.
He's like, again, like, head and hands and like, rubbing at his face. Okay, I think we are, as they say, talking past each other.
I think there's a lot of pretext and understanding about the world that we simply don't share.
That would be why I am having this conversation with you, yes.
Have you ever woken up in the morning and then wanted
Yes.
to go back into bed?
Yes.
And then you couldn't because you had to work?
That's,
Like you couldn't go back to bed because you had to work?
I have worked long hours before, yes.
I don't get that. I wake up and then I'm up. And then the day requires something of me, and I think that's beautiful.
And he looks over at Eve.
Eve looks at him. It's starts to cover her head and then goes like to the right, and she points with her thumb to the right to Jophael and starts twirling her left hand around.
Okay,
around
I
her
just
head.
wanted to make sure I was undamaged from the dragon fall.
The hollow folk are very, very weird. Very weird.
What was her voice?
The hollow folk are very weird. Who are we waiting for Mal to?
Yes, I think that is. It has been a long while. I do not know what she's doing. I think.
Is there a reason why we're not trying to find her right now, or is there?
Quick reminder also just that like there are just 2 guards watching you guys right now, just standing there.
Yeah.
Just like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Maybe I should go look for her myself.
All right, you go look for her.
Yeah,
Or do you just walk off.
He's gonna like break off and I guess leave the guards with Yophael.
So wait, Iollus, why aren't we going with you?
Don't
Do you mind
worry
if we-
about it. I'll be right back. You just stand there.
I think we should tag along.
No, that's okay.
Are you sure? I mean.
No, I'm very sure.
Okay. At this point, it's about 9:30.
God, okay, so we're still early.
35 in the morning here. And then, so you go out to look for her. You have to look for her, and give me
All right.
a
Investigation?
Give me a survival check.
Why?
You're navigating the urban environment.
That doesn't. But I'm looking for someone.
Give me investigate. I guess investigation will work as well.
I don't know why I did that. That's
Investigation
That's
to
a
me
worse skill. I just gave up a +3. But that is a 9.
9. All right. But just total.
Yeah.
So you're looking around. Mel usually stands out, and it's pretty easy to find her, even if she's remaining ambiguous, like unidentifiable, you're still able to see the person who wants to remain unidentifiable.
Yeah.
So but
if
it
I
takes,
saw her, I would
it
notice.
takes you a little while. You're not seeing her in the crowds. You did a quick perusal of like down all the main streets and everything, and like 15 minutes later, you're not really seeing anybody. You can choose to search further.
Is this back in time?
No, this is.
Because I might have something to say about him finding me or not.
Really? What is it?
My eye is still around and I can control it.
It's true.
Oh yeah, is Mel still? Let's cut to that.
Let's pan over to Mel then. You hear?
Nothing, because I'm Mel.
You don't hear anything.
So.
What do you do?
Yeah. So, okay.
There goes everything that I had thought of
Yeah,
at
right?
work today. I forgot!
Yeah, no, here's the cool part. It all can still happen. She just doesn't perceive it at all.
Okay.
So
Do I narrate for the people listening at home then? Or
No.
Okay,
So,
we're
but
just
I will
together.
say though, how it went is Mel, someone did something to Mel, and then Mel got a turn, where I did some spells. It would be the other person's turn now, and I'm up at 2 HP, and so if they would like to knock me unconscious, now would be the time. Like they get the first hit in. According to turn order.
You're not knocked unconscious.
Okay.
She cast thunder. Wait, was it thunder?
Under something, yeah.
Thunder wave like twice.
Oh, just you.
Yeah, whoever it was took 5 damage.
So Thunder Wave does damage to living beings.
That is a wonderful, very specific sentence.
I am wondering how much damage it does to objects.
It's sound.
It's
it
sound.
says every person
Is it
nearby.
Is
so.
it sound?
I mean, I could look up the actual.
Or is it a force wave? What, do you
I'm
know
pretty
the?
sure it's sound.
So
It would be force type.
The
as
logic.
sound.
The logic. No, it's thunder.
Is it really thunder? Cereal sauce?
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap. I deal thunder
it's
damage.
thunderclap. Okay.
Yeah. Every creature other than me within 5 feet makes a con save,
Okay.
and they take. So since it's a Constitution save, I would imagine the logic is, wow, disorienting sound,
Okay.
freaking your being,
Okay. So,
and they took
as to
5
the
damage.
best of your ability, you have done everything that you could, and as of right now, you aren't dead.
Okay.
That's about the most I can give you, Miss. I can't literally perceive.
So, and Mel has not been knocked unconscious over the next, 10, 20 seconds.
She has not been knocked unconscious
All right.
now.
Okay, the plan may in fact still work, because I actually thought of something between sessions for Mel to actually perceive on her own. I need to reallocate some sorcery stuff, though, because I spent all of that trying to hit them with those sonic waves. Converting a spell slot to sorcery points. Bonus action on my turn, I can turn one spell slot and gain a number of sorcery points equal to the slot's level. Okay. So I'm going to spend, as a bonus action, one of my first level spells to gain 1 sorcery point. I am then going to spend that sorcery point immediately to use Subtle Spell, which allows me to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Describe to me how your detect magic would work without your eye.
So the description is, for the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. The word sense there just sort of implying like a sixth sense sort of thing. And so I'm basically imagining it sort of like a
tickle in your crystals?
That's not the words I would use, but yeah, sure.
Those are definitely words you just said and will be memorialized forever.
Gonna use the
Like little you tickly spidey sense inside your crystals. You know?
What's the fucking running joke in Homecoming? The Peter tingle? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So 30 feet around me, I can sense all magic. Question: does that mean? And I would imagine like the POV, right? The eyes that I'm seeing that from is the crystals themselves.
Yes. So how detect magic will work in this sense is it doesn't give you a topographical 3D analysis of the room. Say it is magical.
Mm-hmm.
You will only be able to pick up. Crap. maybe it would though. Hold on.
I can read you the
So-
description if you want, if that would help your decision.
Detect magic.
Sensing the presence. If you sense magic that way, you can use your action to sense it. Hold on. You can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic and learn school magic. Yeah. And as a reminder, also, it can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of dirt. And so basically, she's using this to, number 1, be able to perceive anything around her. But number 2, consider her crystals themselves give off magic.
Mm-hmm.
And so she could probably tell that, like, okay, you know, if the aura of the light coming off of my crystal stops, there's probably a wall there.
You fucking echolocating?
Yes.
You're using negative space with yourself. You're radaring.
Also,
Oh my God.
so just another thing. Also,
So you're trying to find
while
out.
while this is all happening, I'm using my 60-foot move speed for my eye to go straight towards where I know Iollus and the team is.
Iollus and the gang.
No subtlety whatsoever, just straight for them.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. So
I don't
where
think
you
I'll
know?
miss that.
Get.
So what do I see?
The thing.
Probably my ring, at the very least, because that's on me and magical.
I'm trying to find a way to describe to you, from the perspective of your crystals, I guess it'll be like your entire vision is the hue of light purple. It's because a lot of your where you are perceiving from is the same place that is giving magic off of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like looking through fog. You also see a magical aura 5 feet in front of your perspective. That is your skin crystals. An aura that is negative in nature, but not like black, something that's more like an added shadow.
Mm-hmm.
It is about 6 feet tall ish. There's also, from this figure, maybe 15 feet to the left, there is the beginnings of a fade. The fog is fade. You see a fog fade into intensity the more you sense it. So from 15 feet to the left of the shadow figure, and then you say measure it at 25 feet away from the shadow figure, the magical density of that you're able to perceive is getting thicker.
Okay.
So with the magic density there, that is a sickly green.
Basically what you're saying is that there's someone there, and I know there's someone there because the magic sort of AoE I have is obscured beyond them.
It's you aren't able to detect any magic anywhere else except the figure, and then you also know that by the perspective of your crystals, because you said detect magic only disappears at 3 feet of dirt, 1 foot of stone,
Metal.
1 inch of metal, and then a thin sheet of lead, right?
Something like that.
And wood.
Okay. Wood. Okay.
So it pierces a little bit in.
Does it say anything about wood?
Yeah, 3 feet of wood. Or
3 feet of wood or dirt. Okay, cool.
3 feet of wood.
You don't see anything then. You are
anything, or anything.
You don't.
In addition to what you already
seeking,
described.
what you're seeking to do in terms of negative sensing a wall or something by the parameters of the spell.
Okay,
You
but I
cannot
have
sense
seen everything
anything.
that you've previously described.
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like there's some sort of maybe a portal, perhaps just a fog that's magical and somewhere in the room. It may be something like going on there.
So would
if
Mel?
you want more information, you can roll it.
Could Mel reasonably know what a portal is?
No, it's something where, like, imagine not a magical portal. Maybe not the best way to say it. A presence that is magical, that is large in area.
Sure.
Is the best way to put that.
Large magical object.
Not a. an object would be centered and the energy would be focusing in on the object. This is like a slow bleed of magic.
Something is.
So it's as if there is a magic mist that rolls forward and gets weaker the farther it goes.
Okay, and
so
it's centered on...
By the range of the spell, you sense the magic mist 15 feet away from the figure. And then as you perceive it, say 15 more feet to the range of the spell, it just gets thicker. And then it cuts off abruptly. You can't sense it anymore.
Okay.
So you're sending the eye 60 feet.
Yeah, I guess we can check in on that.
Give
then.
me... You roll a d20. Like, how well do you...
I mean, it's the eye that she's normally been controlling.
Can you... You can see with the eye. Oh, yeah, you can just see with the eye. The
That
range is a mile.
Those are my eyes.
Yeah. Stop. Yeah, it's okay. You just zip.
Zip, zip, zip. And so, do I get in range of Iollus?
I mean...
Within 30 seconds, you do.
So now, the question becomes, does Mel have the capacity for restraint?
Hey, hold on 1 second. Can you cast centered on your eye? Can you channel through your eye?
I know there's one thing I can do from my eye, because we've done it before, which is the light Death Star beam.
Can you play light and sound from your eye?
It would make sense. They are the same crystals.
The light...
Can you play sound that is being spoken around your body through your eye?
No.
Really?
So the logic is that things are absorbed by the crystals
So it has
and
to be
projected out.
Those crystals.
So the only thing that the crystals can replay would be stuff that the eye crystals have seen.
Crystals have seen. Okay.
They aren't connected
It's
in that
not
way.
Bluetooth.
Cool. You picked up everything that I was just about to put down if you didn't answer that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so how your eye works is that it is an extension of your body. However, if you're separated from your body, it's no longer an extension and it's now an individual object.
Okay,
So-
Mel is going to just wait and see how the other person reacts for... Well, I should roll.
Detect magic lasts for 30 minutes or an hour.
Oh, probably not even that. It's probably like 10 minutes.
Is it 10
honestly.
minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes. Concentration.
Okay, so this figure, the shadow figure is moving to...
Oh, hold on. Concentration.
It gets very close to you to the point where now it is obscuring your vision.
Yeah,
almost entirely.
So here's the problem. Minor illusion is also concentration, which means I'd have to drop detect magic in order to show you an image from the eye.
Well, you're gonna lose it in 10 minutes.
I might lose it sooner than that.
Yeah.
You're perceiving the shadow figure to be interacting with your body in some way, because the
Cool.
nature of your observation is completely. You cannot see your own magic hues, I guess, magic little whatever pinpoint dots data. And you're now only perceiving the shadow thing, and then you can see yourself bits and pieces here and there.
Cool. So I was gonna roll to see if Mel has the presence of mind to like wait, but if he's touching me, then the answer is no.
Do a funny.
Is it my turn yet again, or is he going to do something as like an action?
All right. The shadow slowly moves away from you after 20 seconds.
Oh, 20 seconds is much longer than one round.
So there is okay.
What
so
does he do in 6
one?
seconds?
Okay, in 6 seconds, the shadow figure does not move close to you at all.
Oh,
In
okay.
6 seconds, so the shadow figure moves forward 5 feet and then spends the rest of those 6 seconds standing there.
Okay.
It's the best that you can sense.
I am going to keep on hurtling the eye towards Iollus on my turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to wait until...
5 rounds until you get there. Then.
What?
No, wait. It's 60 per 6 seconds, which means if you get there, you're about 200 feet away according to your eye. Last time I understood it, 200 divided by 60 puts you at roughly
It's
3 turns.
If we're 200 away, then he would see me
Maybe 4 turns.
pretty soon.
Give me a perception check, Willis.
Okay.
The racing eye. I mean, I guess it's a. Nah, that's a kind of a dumb question. You're right. So you're not engaged in active conversation, are you?
I'm looking for her right now.
You're looking for it right now. Okay, so you see an. It's not there yet. We're on round 2.
Yeah.
It's
not.
round 4. Round 3 is when you max out. You get within 20 feet of yours.
Yeah.
So at round 4 is when you're gonna perceive the eye, or round.
It would be round 3 is
Round 3 is when you
and
can see it
4
because
is
it's
when we are...
distance and close. And
Right,
so
close.
round 4 is when you're close enough to be able to like mingle.
Yeah.
And so that's round 2 done for you.
round 2 is me waiting until he gets adjacent to me, if he does.
And then you see the figure walk a little closer to where you were previously sitting, then walk towards you,
Okay.
and then spin the turn there.
Cool.
You get closer to Iollus. Figure is still above you, pretty much concealing much of all of your vision.
Yeah, so as soon as he
Gets up and moves out of the way.
gets adjacent to me, I'm going to attack him.
She's going to sentinel.
What are you going to do?
She is going to reach down to where she knows her sword is, assuming she hasn't been disarmed, and she's going to stab him.
You can't.
Probably restrained.
What you tried to do there, you can't.
Okay, so
It's
she
hard-
can perceive her crystals from her crystals, right? Like she can see
You
the
can-
crystals on
you
her
can
arm
sense
from the
the-
crystals on her other
Because
hand.
her body's imagined,
You-
the crystals are.
You can only. Your crystals are your eyes, in this sense of detect magic.
Mhm.
You can't sense why you can't do what you want, but you just know that you can't do what you want. You are in some way physically prevented from doing so, but
What?
you can't feel this. You can't
Right,
feel
right,
anything
yeah,
tug
of
at your
course.
skin or anything.
So I'm saying, since like I can see the crystals from my arm from like the crystals on my eyes, right? Can I identify that like go to raise my arm and the crystals on my arm don't move?
I guess you kind of are like a specimen, so you would have like 1,000 eyes across every single crystal.
That is what she would call herself.
Yes.
She is a
You would be.
specimen.
You can see that the crystals on your arms, upon being commanded to move, are not moving. You believe in some way you've been restrained.
Interesting. Is there any way for me? Would that take an action then for me to identify that and attempt an attack and fail at it? Is that an action?
No, you recognize this within milliseconds.
All right. And the guy with like the magical aura, is there anything particularly magic on him, or is it just like
Whole thing.
the whole guy?
Have you used detect magic before?
Yeah,
I think in this game.
like
Yes.
thrice.
Thrice. Have you looked at people with detect magic before?
Yeah.
Probably the main thing.
Can you
That's-
describe to me the people that you've looked at?
The hag I've looked at. The Eddie, I believe, I looked at. Myself technically, and Iollus, because I had the eye do like a third person look down at me. There could be other people I'm probably forgetting, but basically anyone of interest who is magical that I can. I know it. I haven't done it on Lovelock. If that's an option, I can't think of a time I've done that. And like our new friends, I haven't done that on them either.
So the shadow is familiar to Eddie, but it's not quite the same aura.
Mm-hmm.
It's something adjacent. Maybe it seems you're suspect it could be the same aura or something of the same power Eddie may have, or something else, or maybe it's the clothes or whatever it is that he's wearing. Perhaps you don't know, but there is something similar to what the person in front of you is, and there's something adjacent to what Eddie is still.
Sure.
You can't confirm it's him, but there's a parallel here.
Mm-hmm. At this point, I, the player, would want to show Iollus something with the crystals, but that would mean dropping my ability to perceive the world. I don't know if Mel is super down for that right now. I really don't want to lose that ring, but my current thing that I'm thinking about is perhaps using catapult on the ring, because it's the only object I know for sure that I have, and winging it at the guy. But also, as a player, I know that if he has the ability to deal me 76 psychic damage, a little bludgeoning damage from a catapult isn't probably going to do much in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
And so, instead of going with either of these options, I'm going to go with a very non-committal, middle-of-the-road thing, which is he's adjacent to me. I'm going to use Thunderclap again.
Again.
Okay, give me a roll for Thundercrab. Thundercrab.
2 sessions in a row.
Sorry, bro.
That's the
It's a
noise.
pretty bad spell. It's the Freudian slip, you know.
Yeah, so con save from him.
Constitution.
What is his con? Probably pretty good. Whatever the mod is, the roll was 18, so probably fine.
Roll is 18. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And it's not a half damage thing at all, is it?
No.
It's okay. So
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
Motherfucker just gets blasted again.
No, I mean, like, he succeeded on the con save.
Deafened.
But more loud sounds as the crystals just...
I woke up in a new... I imagine, too, it's just, like, sounds she picked up over time.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing. Does he back up at all?
Does he react at all to getting,
you see the figure, the magic, through the shadow spectral aura of the shifting blackness around the magical shape of this person. When you cast Thunderclap, you see the magic interact. So instead of like a whirling, like fume, like smoke whirling in on each other and in and around, it is all the magic is blasted in a single direction away from you. So everything is unilaterally pushed. However, in terms of the actual position that the person's in, he is not pushed at all.
So he's staying there.
Just some interesting how magic works. That's about it. This is that was round 3, right? Okay, now we're at round 4.
The eye has approached Iollus. He sees it. Again, not subtle at all, just going straight for you.
So, yeah, immediately, like, oh, that's different. And then, oh, that's wrong. And then looking around for Mel. And now...
The
now
eye
I'll
just
roll.
blinking, like... Yeah, basically.
Do I roll now for, like, looking for Mel?
I mean, the eye would probably lead you back.
Okay, yeah, so, okay. Yeah, no, he's just following. And he's now definitely gonna start, like, shouldering his way through, and I think he'll turn and, like, wave at Eve and Jophael, like, hey, come over here.
Okay.
And the 2 guards that are with them.
Yeah, no, I mean, if he's going off like, oh, she's not trying to hide this anymore, something's gone wrong. So he's like, yeah, he's waving and like, get over here, and he's gonna shoulder through the crowd.
Jophael will lumber over, and Eve, they'll give an affirmative, will follow you. And you guys are now moving at double speed, I imagine?
As fast as I can through this crowd.
So you guys are moving slightly hindered. So you're moving about maybe 45 feet per second. As of right now, this turn, due to the nature of the popularity right now. And the guards are alarmed, and they call for more.
Yeah.
So you guys shoulder away. The guards are still stationed by the chariot. Not chariot.
Carriage.
Carriage. Same C word. Not really. And you guys are following the eye right now. Round 4.
And he is definitely, when he's going through this crowd, he's pushing his way through, but it's like, I'm sorry, would you please everyone move. Gonna hit him with like the Andre the Giant from Princess Bride.
Roll me a d20.
It is a 6.
Roll me again.
11.
Alright. Can you roll me... no, would that be...
Fear?
You are knocked unconscious.
Oops.
By damage?
Damage.
What do I roll?
So, you...
Because there is a chance that it may exceed my HP and just kill me outright.
So, you take...
Do you have to deal damage?
Austin has said previously that what kills you instantly is if you take an amount of damage equal to
you take 3 hit points of damage, non-lethal. You are not making death saving throws, but you're unconscious.
Interesting.
Comatose.
Okay.
And then...
So the eye just
He starts rolling away.
Rolling away. You have now lost perception of what's going on.
Let's go. Time to sit on my hands for the rest of the session.
Does the eye hit anybody on the way down? Does it just bowling ball someone?
Roll me a d20.
10.
It lands on your foot.
Oh.
Nothing happens. Just
Ah!
So the eye collapses. It was leading you to an area.
Can I intuit the direction?
It seems like the eye was leading you to just almost the block where the blacksmith was.
Got it. But yeah, no, so Eye collapses, he freezes, and just, like, stop staring down at it, rapidly trying to figure out what to do, and then he left, right, back at Yophiel, down at the eye, he picks it up.
Yeah.
And what does it look like now that it's deactivated? Is there any visual difference?
Holding it, it's black stone, and
Right.
then you can kind of see some faint purple. Only this, when you point into the sun, the crystals start to shine,
It's a
and
magic
more of a
eight
light amount. There's more of a light purple in there. However, at the center of the eye, where there's usually a glow, it's this light vacuum.
Ah.
So you'll shine the sun in there, and you can't see inside the eye. So you just can't see there.
How does the lizard feel about suddenly dropping 20 feet out of the air?
Probably a little rattled in there,
20
bud.
feet. The lizard is not popping out of the eye.
Well, not the most concerning thing that's happened, but he makes note of it. But he picks up the eye and he just starts running towards the blacksmiths.
A couple moments later, the lizard crawls out slowly, very like slowly, and then shakes its head a little bit,
Oh fuck!
and then scratches its head, and then
And he looks down and says, "I feel
the
you."
lizard, and then the lizard starts. All right, roll a d20 for me.
The lizard looks
Iollus-
up at you and goes, "Hello, Mario."
Hello, Mario. Iollus
Natural
feels for
20.
this lizard.
Natural 20. So the lizard starts pointing at the
What?
with its little paw. It starts pointing towards the blacksmith, except not quite near it.
Wait,
gonna follow the lizard.
The lizard
He's-
is sentient?
This is the biggest reveal so far.
Yeah, I'm baffled.
But yeah, no, like he again, note of it, like
Do you?
Okay.
You don't have. You guys have since lost the connection between the crystals between.
Oh, a
Mel
long
and
time
you.
ago.
Long
Yeah,
time
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I
Okay.
pissed all the
Cool.
coke out.
Your head feels a little fuzzy, a little bit, and you think it's the lizard, but it's also like maybe you're just excited to see him. He's really cute, you know.
Worrying, but not his biggest concern.
But so you guys are going over.
I'm
We're
following
now
the lizard.
the turn order is now not
Right, we're not in
happening
order.
right now. So there's no more rounds. Over the next couple moments, you get there in about 20-ish seconds, to where you're just before the blacksmith block. You stop just before you take a right in an alleyway. You see Mel there, with rope wrapped around her, and there's a note on her back, and she's laying there on the street, hair covering her face.
Okay, immediate
Close
to
perception.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, dunk. That is an 8.
She's just still.
Yeah, no, very unfortunate. He's gonna set
Do
the
you
eye
want to
down.
investigate?
No, he's looking for people.
Okay. There's no one really around here. I
Just
mean,
yeah, like he found her and he was going, okay, is there anyone else? Actually, oh, hold on. Like alleyway, looking out of the alleyway into the crowd. Is there anything I can see?
no.
Just crowd.
Just
Yeah,
crowd.
that's rough. Yeah, he's gonna set the eye down and like, he is gonna check over Mel and like, are you alive?
She's breathing. Her body's sustaining itself. She looks like she's unconscious.
Hello. Are you? And then he realizes like, shit, that wouldn't even
She-
work.
There is what looks to be like very. If you've seen, you would know what condensation on the outside of a cup looks like.
Yeah.
So there is blood coming out the bottoms of her crystals here, and there's blood out the ears, and it looks like the blood itself, in contact with the air, you think looks like condensation, except it's poured out and it's sort of like kind of like simmering outside of her skin.
Wild. Not a real medical professional, but he thinks that looks real bad, and also thinks, we're gonna have to either convince Eve to do a lot of healing right here, or find someone else. As yeah, he's gonna try to just cut her loose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sorry. Note on her back.
Yeah.
It's in common, right?
It's in
Okay.
Drowish, actually.
Great. I can't read that.
It looks like a grungy heavy metal cover album.
Oh, it's the Anthrax. Yeah. Looks at it, holds it sideways, like.
Do Is that
Okay.
art?
Um,
What is it? What's happened to Mel?
I do not know. Can you
she'll
help her?
rush over.
Would you Papa grant me a, because I rolled perception, can I get investigation for the alleyway itself?
Alleyway itself. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because I want to try to, well, Iollus wants to figure out, like, how did this dude get out of here? Jeez, I'm rolling dog shit. That's a 1.
Can you roll me a d20 as well?
That is a natural 20.
What
Natural
the fuck?
20. So the Yophael, the hairs, there are hairs that grow out the back of his spine.
He's got
and then down the spine,
Yeah.
and then they kind of poke out of his shirt.
He's got like
Then the tail as well.
a tuft.
I imagine it's like wheat.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's a maroon wheat. It's dark.
He's got a whole full body mohawk.
Someone was using foul magic here.
Is there another kind?
Well,
Eve
Yeah,
looks at you.
yes,
What the
there
fuck?
is.
Currently, Iollus doesn't get the difference between like god magic and other magic. He's thinking like, oh, your god is helping you. That's not magic. But
Can you roll me a 2d8?
12.
nice.
Mel, you heal for 17 points of healing.
Alright.
Cool. You are now lucid, awake.
Back up to full.
Indeed.
How are you holding the eye?
He set it down.
Where?
Like basically just like next to her with like the top pointing up.
Yeah, so like comes into consciousness, eye spins around, suddenly levitates, looks around rapidly.
And yeah, Iollus is gonna like look at the eye and like point at it and like looking around and what?
Yeah, Mel is going to like slowly sit up. You said I've like actually felt like pain in my head when I took that damage. Could you re-describe that?
Because it's psychic, right?
It was someone took the edges of your brain and then they grabbed it with long fingernails and decided to just rake across all the tubes and grooves inside your brain. And it feels like someone literally did that with their fingers on your soft tissue matter inside your skull.
So, in terms of like, because like she uses psychic magic all the time. Have I like felt things psychically before, or is this like a brand new experience?
You believe you might have an experience of what it's like to get hit by one of your own spells.
Yeah, Mel like comes into consciousness and is like, oh, like
You have a headache.
Which is different, I imagine.
probably like a psychic headache and not a like
She has a
actual
mind
headache.
Not a literal headache. It's
Though
a
she probably
mind
has
ache.
that too and can't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
A big mind ache.
yeah.
Yeah, I think-
it's interesting because this is the first pain you've been able to feel.
Yeah, she's
So
having
this-
mixed feelings on that.
Indeed. What are we doing, boys?
He's like watching Eve tend to Mel. First of all, there's like, wow, that's different. That's really cool. But then like he like stands up and is she okay? Speaking to Eve.
Yeah. So she is doing what? What's your HP? Max HP?
Oh, also, is her mask off? Can I understand her? You said I got 17, right?
Her mask is not off.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
I am at 17 and my max is 26 currently.
She's doing all right. She's still not a tip-top shape, but she's doing well enough. Not unconscious, not dead.
And
There's
there's
just
like
the blessings that we can all hope for.
nod. And he looks at the eye and he says, "Where are they?"
Concentration spells must go down when you go unconscious, right? Like that would
Yeah.
only make sense. So no more detect magic. She
How many spells do you have left, by the way?
I think 2.
Okay.
2 first level.
Okay.
Oh, 2 first level and a second level that I won't be able to use because I don't have any sorcery points left. Womp womp. Level 4 and 5 are rough for Mel. The Mel kit, once I get to 6, it's easy sailing. But Mel will holographically project a picture of someone's hand pointing, using
Right. Yeah.
that spell, and point over at the house that she got chased out of.
Do you read the note that Iollus is holding in his hand?
Oh yeah. He holds that note up.
Looks down.
What's it say?
Exploding ruins die.
If you're reading this, goodbye.
It
Warnings.
says...
I've seen a player punk a GM with that once.
Oh my god.
Oh, seriously, that's
Yeah.
crazy work. I don't want to see you near my family ever again.
It's rough because only Mel can read that.
And signed at all, or
Nope.
she like stands
In
up
drow, but
and like flips it back and forth, and like
yes,
she
die.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iollus is like he has his mace in hand and he's like looking at the house.
You can't cast any spells right now.
What?
You can't cast any spells because you have sorcery points.
Okay,
Any
so
second.
I can't cast invisibility. I can cast 2 more first level spells and any cantrips. Mel is going to look around because I assume we're all in the alley now. But are like people like looking in and watching us at this point? Have we gathered attention?
Not yet.
Okay. While we're still alone, Mel will project from the eye the image of that man and his family.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't describe the guy at the time. What does he look like?
So you see a middle-aged man, brown hair, wrinkled, like a face that sort of has, like there's some more wrinkles on the right side, especially near his eye. It's a little weird. But
Zuko.
just brown hair. It just almost looks like his right side of his face might be a little bit older. But
Oh, like
and
literally.
and there's
Okay.
underneath the eye there's a like a faint purple hue.
All right.
But his eye color's brown, hair's brown, normal
He's wearing
white
the-
Caucasian male, wearing the robes that Eddie was wearing.
Right, the Vatican.
Great.
He wasn't. The face isn't Eddie's.
Not Eddie. Clearly not Eddie in his robes.
Mhm.
He's gonna clock that in, but he's like pointing at the house and like pointing back at Mel and like.
Well, so she makes a point of showing him and his family,
Oh, so she's those like children there, and he's.
and like basically we're playing the image of like the eye moving up, seeing them,
Oh.
seeing him look up, and then the illusion ending.
Yeah. So what do we do here?
How fast do you think, using the Drowdic Common Book, could I transcribe that note?
Depends how well you roll.
Okay, I will attempt.
Give me a.
Yeah, she'll like gesture towards your bag where you have writing implements.
Oh yeah.
And try and like pull out that book and try and
It's not a history. It's not a religion check. It's a translation check. Give me a.
That'd be an intelligence, I
Yeah,
think.
roll intelligence.
Give me an intelligence check.
17.
17. It takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
So he's definitely like not at the ready anymore, but like definitely a little still conflicted. And then, so how did this happen?
Mel is going to like the equivalent of like holding up a gun but not pulling the trigger. She's going to like put the pressure on Iollus' brain of like a psychic attack, right? And then point the note and point at herself.
Squint, and then looking back at the house, and then at her. So they're like, you?
She nods.
I think that is first questioning at least. Why did they attack you?
She gestures at the note again.
You are covered in your own blood. I think that is a bit of an overreaction.
She agrees. She nods.
So I think we should go talk to them. If you do not wish to, I will. I think they know you.
She pulls out the note from Eddie and points at that.
And he's contemplating.
She goes into the Dreadicon book, flips around real quick, pulls up the word ask, and then
guys
points
start
at
to hear
the note.
several boots.
I mean, Iollus does.
Yeah,
you,
Mel doesn't.
So the group hears several boots approaching. We should probably leave.
Go fair. Actually, yet again, there is no place we were supposed to meet Eddie, right?
Nope,
Just
he said
the
meet in
city?
the town at
Just
11.
The city
Yeah,
at
great.
11.
Yeah,
It is
Iollus is gonna storm out
It
of
is
the alleyway.
9:45ish now.
Yeah. Mel
Yeah.
just like not even because like she needs to, but just like instinctively has like a hand to her head.
Yeah.
Oh, do I still have my ring?
Your ring?
Yeah.
On you?
Yeah.
There isn't blood on her because.
I mean, like there might be a little blood as she is
Right, yeah,
actively
she's
bleeding.
Do you check your pockets?
I feel like it would be on her hand.
Yeah, I mean, like if she looks down in her hand, it's not there.
on her hand.
She would immediately check her pockets.
It's in your pocket.
Okay.
Weird.
Looks like it was taken off of you.
She'll check her pockets a little more. Like, is there anything else in here? Did he leave something with me at all?
There's wet feces. No. There's nothing inside your pocket besides the ring and whatever resources you have in there. I
Sure.
guess.
Yeah, did he disarm me at all either? Or are all of my weapons in the same spot?
They're in the same spot.
Okay. Yeah, she puts that on like, And yeah, I guess she just kind of shakily follows you guys wherever you go.
You know what? Are there guards approaching us?
Joe Fayel seemed to indicate so. It seems like he said that we should get out
We're
of here.
walking out. Are there guards approaching us?
Yeah, there's guards about several paces, and it looks like there's about a group of 5 approaching. They're like 50 feet out.
All right. If all of you want to move away, I am going to ask some questions.
Who are you asking questions to?
These guards.
I don't know if it would be wise to seek to talk to them about. I can't imagine they would.
Why?
I can't imagine they'd favor you over the cardinal. That.
So they are aligned, then, in that regard.
At least in the sense of blind fealty.
So then they would allow an attack like this to happen on their streets.
No, but I think it wouldn't go anywhere because they wouldn't know what to make of magic.
So then they're aligned with these people, but then do not understand them.
I believe, and sort of evil speak up. I think what Yofel is saying is that they just won't be able to take your word at face value when you're talking about what seems to them to be crazy stuff.
I am not looking for explanations. I am looking for justice.
Well, you can try to talk to them and they'll speak to you for sure, but I think they might like get you something to drink and then maybe leave you there, you know?
Iollus looks legitimately very angry.
For her part, Mel looks like a lot less... I'm trying to think of a better way to describe this, but like a lot less uppity than normal.
Yeah.
Like she seems like she's really gotten the wind taken out of her sails. And also, she shoots you a weird look when you say you're looking for justice. She like raises an eyebrow like, wait, where is this coming from?
These people are supposed to keep their city and their citizens safe.
Who are you talking to?
The
To the
general.
both.
The move.
Yeah, the guards for sure, but I don't. What you're basically saying to the guards is that a cardinal somehow teleported to his forbidden dungeon, said, "Leave my family alone," and then attacked this random woman.
So why should I not open his door?
I'm not. We can go check it out. Go to his house if we wish. I'm just saying, I don't think the gods are gonna favor what you have to say.
I am not looking for their approval.
Okay, I was just speaking my mind. I just figured I'd add a little voice of reason for this. I think we should honestly.
Why should I be afraid of doing what needs to be done?
Again, Mel looks like now she's looking at you like actually, like Mel, and not just the eye.
Yeah.
Giving you just the most incredulous stare.
And yeah, he'll meet that. You have been hurt.
Yeah, she nods.
You have been attacked.
She nods.
There should be an end to this.
Roll insight for a second.
I don't know what I have to that. Let's check. Probably not great. That is...
Not to mention the fact that I don't...
Oh.
It just looks like she's been...
18.
Did you put your ring on?
Yeah.
So there's no blood on you, and it doesn't...
Assuming she's not still bleeding.
She's
I imagine like...
She's not... You're not actively bleeding right
Yeah.
now. So there's no active precipitation.
Right, yeah, she's been cleaned up.
I imagine, though, there might actually be some wounds on, like, her eyes. Because you mentioned it was, like, bleeding underneath. And, like, the crystals would have to, like, crack for that to happen.
It was a sort of a liquid... where your skin meets your crystal, underneath the crystal there is a membrane.
Okay, so like when you like stub your toe and it starts bleeding out.
Bleeding, you can basically you can see the blood underneath the nail. It's basically something
through your tear ducts, right? She was bleeding.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Also, the fact that Mel seems all right now and there's nothing on her to indicate she's been assaulted at all.
But she was.
But there's no physical witness or proof to this. I'm just saying it will come off as very insane.
I don't understand. I am going to find out why she was attacked.
So, for that insight, Mel 100% agrees with you and is kind of baffled that you are basically stating her own motivations, which you have taken issue with up until this point.
Yeah.
And so she's like, yeah, that is the... What?
Yeah.
And she's, at this point, she's basically like, since, you roll an 18, I'll give you a little extra. At this point, she's kind of like, I can't go back there. I'm going to get my ass kicked. This sucks. There's nothing I can do about it. So I want to wait to talk to Eddie, who will give us more information and maybe help us, instead of, going guns blazing, because I don't want that to happen again.
Right. And he's... And I... You know what it is? He stops talking, and they just sort of stare at each other for about 20 seconds, just kind of non-verbally.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I am not seeking vengeance. I want to make sure that you are safe.
You don't hear boots approaching much anymore.
Interesting.
There was like a group of... It seems like it stopped within 30 feet of you guys. Because you were hearing running from like 60.
Right, yeah.
It's since stopped.
He's gonna... And if Mel has no response to that...
She can't hear, so she...
I mean, he was... speaking to the
Joe
eye.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the response to the boots.
If Mel has no response to what Iollus just said...
She looks confused.
This is not right. What has happened is not right, so I will make it right.
Again, she looks at you like, yeah, obviously, and then points at the note, like the note, the Eddie note,
right.
not the note that was left for us.
He looks up at the sun to gauge time.
It is raining.
It's fucking raining? Since when?
This whole time? Am I crazy?
It's no longer raining right now, but it was before.
Okay.
When you were keeping surveillance waiting at the carriage.
Dude, when did you say that? Because
That was last session.
No, like when? Because I did not
Last-
do that.
Basically,
Last
as
session
soon as
when-
we drop down from the dragon, it's been raining.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as soon as you dropped the dragon. I said that in the forest, and it's been raining around the area.
Okay.
There's like a scene, Mel looking at her hands, and there was raindrops going through it, which I realize now, in retrospect, couldn't have happened because she was wearing the ring, but like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what it was? It was the rain
You were-
sliding off of you, like you're
bouncing
hydrophobic.
You were actually watching the rain disappear. Like hit your skin and just disappear.
Ah, that's better, actually. But, yeah, it's raining, I guess. But, so there is a bunch of clouds?
Yeah, it's cloudy now. It's no longer
Okay.
raining, but it's overcast.
So he will remember this spot,
Mm-hmm.
but he will, well, so far do we go.
Mel looks around and just sort of deflates.
And he'll look over to where the guards were approaching from.
She'll just like sit down on
So
a curb.
There's nothing doing there now. You see there's the same robed figure as the person you saw inside the house, Mel.
Mm-hmm.
As you saw the tailcoats of that sort of around a corner and approaching the blacksmith.
Yeah, Mel and Iollus just like watch that.
He looks at Mel.
Mel looks at you again. She looks way more tired than normal, but like she like throws up her hands like, I'm not gonna stop you.
You can stay here.
Yeah, she just sort of like again remains sitting with like the hand rested on the eye.
Right. And he looks up at Yophiel. Are you willing to leave your companion this smell, your friend Eve?
I'm not comfortable with leaving Eve's side.
Nod. He turns. He goes.
Okay. So you meet the figure that's cloaked here and start to walk.
Are they going into the building?
It's just one person. He's wearing the same. You
Where?
walk around, you see the building. It's actually just sort of. He ducks inside the building and he says something almost, and there seems to be some conversation as the figure walks into the building and passes through the cloak that's over the door.
Right.
You assume there's some sort of conversation going, and you're about like maybe like 20, 25 feet away from there.
Like from the building?
From the building, yeah.
Yeah. No. He's going straight in.
walking, running, yelling.
No, walking.
Just walking. Okay.
Just a firm march.
As you get closer,
And he takes his helmet off, and he's wearing it on his
as
mouth.
you get closer. So you two didn't see maybe an otter, you know, how do you describe a woman like that? Dark skin, and she's got crystals on, and
Dunk,
also,
dunk, dunk, dunk on the side of the door frame.
hello. Ah, Iollus.
And
Hello,
it's him?
hello. This is Eddie.
He pushes into the building, and he's looking around.
Eddie's the one wearing the robes.
Yeah. He pushes past him.
Hey, what seems to be the matter? You
He's-
seem rather harried.
He's like looking. Who else is in this building?
Just the blacksmith and his wife.
And it's the single room building, right?
It's a single room, aside from like another room behind a counter where all the weapons and stuff are.
Yeah. And he's like looking around that.
Now,
Right.
let's get you a drink. We seem a little harried right now. I know a bar around here.
Where are they?
They who?
He turns and he points to him, and he points down at the robes.
Robes? Last time I checked, my friend was at the house.
What house?
That's not my particular prerogative to.
He's
share
gonna
my
start walking
friends.
towards that back room.
Family. But it's back room where the blacksmith and
Yeah.
the woman is.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really your place to go. You know.
He's moving.
Okay. So you make it past you're intimidating enough. Give me an intimidation check.
Okay, I'm good at that.
Mm.
Historically. I don't know if that will hold true, but I hope it will. That
I'm just
is
trying to-
13.
15. So you'll see a side as the blacksmith man gets and sits in front of his wife in the corner right now. They're sort of letting you like walk around almost because he's seen you before. You just seem in a mood right now. And he's kind of waiting.
He has eyes
waiting
ahead.
for you to pass. Iollus, did something happen? You let me know what's going on, or
Like basically just part whatever he needs to
you
to
part.
look in.
So you see the forge that's going on, and you see another room adjacent. And when you peer around that room, it's a lot of boxes and storage materials and food. There's a
Right.
bed and there's stuff like that.
Not space for people to be hiding, right? Unless
no.
they're under the floorboards.
And unless they like popped out of a box, they popped into the box.
right,
But
yeah. And he stands there looking around, and yeah, he turns back and
did somebody piss my friend off here?
and
Do you know where Mel is?
like a glance at like the blacksmith and the woman, and looking at Eddie. How do you know our friends here?
Yeah, my friend's an archdeacon pal of mine. Sometimes we travel to Redwall. We're here on business mostly, but I was planning on catching a drink before I met you guys here. But I have
Mel has been attacked.
by my friend.
I would think so. He wears your clothes.
Okay, can you tell me what happened, or was it out of nowhere? Was it?
I found her.
Where's Mel? Let's talk to her. And
I found her unconscious. Where is your friend?
okay, so I don't know where my friend is right now. I'm assuming he's with his family. I'd like to have a conversation with Mel, or at least, do you know what? Has she described to you what happened? Give me the whole
I'm getting insight
story
on him
here.
right now.
Give me an insight check.
This fancy, handsome man is not escaping my gaze.
And then...
Oh, that is a 19.
Okay. So, there's something off about Eddie.
Yeah, I assume aside from the usual.
Yeah, it's something aside from the usual. It seems like Eddie knows more than he just wants. It seems like he's trying to get to know your side of the story.
Trying to get to know what you know.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's what you're picking up.
Why are you here?
Well, I'm here to meet up with you guys for one. I'm here to deliver our promised arrangement. I'm also here on personal business as well. I'm sure you've seen my carriage out there, and I'm just visiting to do those two things. Typically, archdeacons will travel in packs of two.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Eddie Don Dandelion, lineage prince of the Dandelion clan, from the holy city of the Vatican.
And he is having this, just for reference, having this conversation with him in front of these two other people. So he can... And he thinks on that information.
I act as a cardinal, archdeacon, whatever you want to call it. It's different, but I do various things. I mean, that's a long conversation. Can we? Do you think we should find a place to sit down and have a conversation? Maybe a bite to eat, or
I think...
is Mel all right? Can we have a conversation? Is she okay?
Where will be meeting?
Yeah, we'll meet at the Rustling Pig. It's right outside the city gate. Not city gate, sorry, city square. And then it's maybe a couple paces north. Honestly, it's within eye shot of my carriage. So, meet up there.
You will walk with me.
Sounds good to me.
And
he'll gesture in front of you to sort of let you walk first.
He turns back to the blacksmith, and he's going to like give a whatever the. I feel like we've established it before. Whatever, like a bow.
Yeah.
He's going to give an apologetic hang ten to the blacksmith.
It makes it be like, just
Get
better,
out.
get well, friends. He doesn't seem like he took it too much. He looks like he took it on the chin and doesn't bother him too
Right.
much. He kind of sees like you get the feeling that he just sort of saw a spat from you, and he's not
Yeah.
really holding it against you.
But yeah, he's
Also, very clearly, like, extraneating circumstances going on.
yeah.
It seems like he doesn't
You
want to get
did
in the
hear
mix.
him say that Mel was attacked.
He just doesn't want to get involved.
Doesn't
It
wanna
seems
get
like
involved,
yes.
yeah. But yeah, he gives him a bow and he goes out the door.
So Eddie falls behind you.
You guys, I assume we're still with an eye shot.
Yeah, we have the world's awkwardest non-conversation.
Yeah, 'cause
Which is mostly just Eve and Jophiel talking to each other, I imagined, and Mel just sitting on the ground.
Yeah, the conversation details what you can't hear.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
Iollus.
can't even. All right.
Iollus, he waves.
You made characters
It's
without
true.
mouths. You
It's
made
true.
characters without mouths. This is your
It's
fault.
true. I know.
Iollus-
Yeah.
Waves to get their attention, like the eye, I assume.
Yeah. And so with the eye, you'll
And
see.
he points.
You see Eddie. He's got his cloak down. He's got his dirty blonde hair slicked back, and sort of he's got it's sort of like a mole or something at the bottom tooth here. But like at this point, he's actually got like almost a thin groomed beard, not too long, as well. And he's just got his very kind of sandy hair almost.
Right.
And he's got blue eyes.
Dandelion
And-
color.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's going to mouth up at the eye. Found him.
Yeah, Mel gives it affirmative hang 10.
And then
affirmative.
and he like gestures, after you at Eddie.
And then, who are our outlandish friends here? Positive regards, of course.
Friends.
Friends. All right, sounds good to me. Well, my name's Eddie. I'm previous acquaintances here of Mel and Iollus. It's a pleasure to meet you two. And then Eve will stick her hand in. It's a pleasure to meet you as well, good sir. And then she'll ask, like, how's the Vatican? Oh, Eddie. Yeah, everything's great. I think there was some spat in my local diocese I had to deal with before this, but it wasn't too disturbing. I was able to be here on time.
Standing over Eddie's shoulder, looking at Mel, he's like pointing at Eddie, pointing at the robes, and then pointing back at Mel.
Jophiel will sort of stand there, nod, shake his hand, introduce himself.
Right.
So I'm trying to remember. Did you name the evil cultist heretic to them? Did you say, yeah, his name was Eddie?
I don't know if I did. I hope I didn't.
No, because, like, we know that they know that there's someone dressed up like their religion
Right.
that Mel is meeting with. But I don't remember if you specified his name. We could just make this easy and have them be smart and figure it out by, like, putting two and two together.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so as of right now, this is something that comes up in conversation.
Okay.
But, so, yeah, I believe we're here to meet you, right, Sir Eddie? And then, it seems like we're heading somewhere right now. Yeah, so we're traveling by the Rustling Pig. It's my local joint around here. Figured we'd sit down and have a conversation. I heard something happened with our friend here.
Yeah, Mel stands up.
Figure that out. If you guys would follow me, I could definitely show you guys the way. And you guys will walk. Takes 3 minutes.
We walk.
Rustling Pig. There is a pig on the front that's got a tiki skirt on, and it's got like little like tufts of like hair on the pig head. It's pointing up like a hairdo, sort of thing.
Wild.
You guys step inside the Rustling Pig. Above the door is like you can see like it's the same tiki straw that's on the edge of the pig, except there's like little pig like hooves on each side of the door, implying that you're walking underneath the legs of it.
Right.
And so it rustles literally when you walk through it. But
I assume Jophiel has a bad time with that.
Raphael looks at this, sees the 7-foot door, understands that he's 2 feet taller than this, and then crouching, he can crouch like 2 feet shorter, and he makes it, but it's like he chill shuffles like dunk 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 dunk, and then he gets underneath the door.
Like getting a mattress around a corner. Yeah.
Yeah. The barmaid will, howdy folks, welcome to the Rustling Pig. It's Eddie, pleasure to see you again. Listen, we've got your table set up for you. And then
You are going to need more.
We have to sit, so give me a second
I'm gonna see if I can find someone to move.
If we don't have a reservation, can you just put 7 tables together? Also, we are going to need appetizers for everyone. 17 separate checks, thank you, please.
Can I see your manager?
She pulls a sword out off the dress.
I'm going to leave a 2-star review. There's nothing in it.
There's a hole in your chest now as 12 gauge slams into your sternum. So she leaves a little bit. You'll see in the corner of the room, there's more of like a darker spot, low key. There's some torchlight there. There's actually a nice little red, black, and white themed sort of like chandelier there, almost it seems.
It's my colors.
It's not a chandelier. It's a
And
glass. It's glass, and it's around a torch. So it's those are the colors of the church's Vatican flag.
Right.
So it seems like it's literally his table.
Stole my drip. Stole my drip.
But next to the table is sort of like a booth seat where there's like 2 fellas sitting there, and she walks up and she sort of asks like, "Hey, if you don't mind, I've got a friend here." She points.
Forget about it. We ain't.
She points, and the 2 guys both put their drinks down at the same time. Looks at that, both take their drinks, and then down them. Gets up, and they both move out of the booth. And so she starts to take the booth and pulls it out from the wall. These are not.
Whoa.
And then so
She's really strong.
she doesn't rip it out of the wall. They're movable. And then she'll orient them around because where Eddie usually against the Eddie table, it's like a circle, and there's a circle booth around it. And so she's pulling it, and so she's pulling it literally to sit right this big bench. You imagine specifically reserved for this giga fella that walked into the restaurant, and then so she'll walk over again and I got all your table arrangements set up. If you guys would follow me, we can get you guys started. John, walk. Raphael is a foot shorter. The ceiling is taller than the doorway. However, there is a lot of infrastructure. There's literally like support beams.
Right.
So every 5-7 feet, Raphael will walk. He ducks, and then he ducks.
bobbing and weaving through the restaurant.
And then there will be a torch, and he goes sideways, and then there's like.
Actually, you want to start
like,
rolling to make sure he doesn't start hitting things on the ceiling.
So Raphael releases Ultra Instinct and starts to weave around within milliseconds of everything as he scores a natural 20 and getting through everything in here. He'll with his trunk he'll move a wreath that's hanging out of off the roof.
Everyone turns and claps.
Does a cartwheel.
Yeah. Raphael would does a compressed back spring as he
He does a running gainer just like through. He tucks himself into a ball and just like shoots through the restaurant to the end.
He does an Olympics female gymnastic routine to get to his seat. I don't know what any of those things are called. I just figured you guys have a mental image of that. Anyways, but you guys sit. Raphael gets the booth that's literally like 4 feet wide, and he sits in it, and there's maybe not even 6 inches on either side of him. And then Eddie sits in the corner, like in the corner seat, and then where you guys file in, however. One of the little server staff comes up, places down places out a drink the color of amber. You guys have no clue what it is, but it's the color of amber, and it's got suds or some sort of like soap or like bubbles on top, but it's like really thick. It almost looks like snow. Basically it's beer. It looks like beer. It's amber beer.
You just described a beer to me.
I don't know how. You guys don't know what that is, but it's beer.
We've done this,
I know what it is.
Yeah, we've done this before with the Knoll. You can just say it and then be like, "Yeah, you guys wouldn't know what this is."
Okay, sounds good. I should just do that next time.
She sets down a beer.
A weird mystical allure where like there's almost like snow head on top of whatever. It's a beer head.
We went out drinking last night.
It's a Guinness. No, I'm kidding.
It's red Guinness.
Pretty much, but that's Eddie's drinking there, and then the barmaid will. Do you guys? And she'll list the specials, and then she'll list the drinks, and so there's what Eddie's having, which is an amber ale. All right. And then there's also maybe like a classical mead. You guys don't know what any things are, but she's saying the words like mead, get you a normal ale, water, wine.
And he has no idea how this works, so he expects Eddie to...
So get them Give me a mead for our big fella short, and then our big fella large, and then get me a wine.
He feels insulted
Mel.
by this, and he doesn't know why.
Mel, who cannot taste and has no money, is like, all right, yeah, that's fine, all right.
Okay.
And then
I wonder how being inebriated while not being able to feel any parts of your body works.
Oh, I feel so numb and weightless.
Yeah. So
Oh, wait a second. No, I don't.
She'll walk out and she'll leave. It's the rest. It's not too busy in here. There's maybe like 3 people total, and they're scattered across the other side of the restaurant. And there's maybe like 4 people sitting at like the bar. And you guys are pretty much in isolation. You guys can pretty much talk in secrecy. And as she starts to leave, she moves, and then she pulls out a curtain. For you guys. She actually has Yophael get up a little bit, scoot forward, get his knees under the table, and pushes the booth in, and the curtain rests on top of the back of his head.
When he stands up, he's gonna crack that table in half.
Oh my god.
So in order to get under it, he literally had to like shuffle his feet, but like support
I
himself.
was about to say, like,
You've never seen an elephant shake so much. They're trying to get it into somewhere, but like he's required to do a lot of movements he's never had to do before.
like a dog on a rocking chair.
Pretty much, yeah. But you guys are now in complete silence. Eddie opens up the floor, saying, "So I heard there was an incident, and that we should honestly talk about it because that's to do with a friend of mine. It's something that is important, obviously, to all of us, especially present company including."
Shit, she can't replay the image she already showed.
Yeah.
No.
Luckily, and reminders that, you know, Jophael, Eve, and Iollus can't understand this, but Eddie can read lips, and so can Mel. So Eddie and Mel can talk. But Eddie... Basically, Eddie is the only person here who can understand everyone, which is kind of funny, because he's, like, the guy we're, like, suspicious of and not trustworthy of.
And then Eve was like, "Eve, if you wouldn't mind, I'm sure there's no reason to hide your face, but if you don't feel comfortable doing so, don't feel pressure to. But I'd love to see who I'm speaking to. It's just maybe like a formality thing. Is there a reason you might be wearing the mask?" And then she'll say, "Well, I'm not much in favor of really showing myself in public. I mean, there's a reason why I don't really have any of my skin showing. But, I mean, would it bother you if I left it on? I think it would help Mel out if she was able to hear you talk, more so." And then, Eve will say, I guess, Mel, do you read lips?"
Yeah, she nods. I think we've discussed this before.
Oh. Well, why didn't you say something before? You could. I was speaking to you the whole time, and you didn't say anything to me.
Stone great sound effects turns towards
Wait,
her.
hold on. Mel doesn't nod to that because she can't read her lips because the mask is still on.
The mask is still on.
Womp womp.
And then-
So she asked that question.
And then she'll pull the mask off, and then she's it's.
Did you ask why she didn't say anything?
No, I guess.
I think I heard those words leave your mouth. Mel didn't.
Mel, can you describe to me what's really going on with you? Because I know there's something going on, but I don't really know.
She cannot hear or speak or see without her. And he gestures to the eye. He doesn't have a name for it, but...
I mean, can you feel either? Like, sorry, that's a little insensitive.
She shakes her head.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to help you, but I wish I could. I'm here for you if you need be, and that must be really tough for you. I'm so sorry about that, honestly. I'm sorry.
Mel is like, I can't tell if she's really bad at being genuine, or if she's like, how do I even
just
respond to this?
bullying you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to roll an insight check?
Yeah, sure.
Roll insight to figure out if she's being genuine or not.
It's a 3. Mel assumes that she's being superficial.
3. You pick up that she's horrific with empathy, and that
She rolled a 3.
she's pitying you.
Yeah, no, that
Okay,
is
she's pity. Yeah,
which is what Mel hates. So she just like she's sort of like, yeah, all right.
And then so the mask, you actually read her. So Eve's eyes glow
Oh my god.
gold loosely, like by themselves with no light at all. Except there is a faint green shine to the shine as well, and then there's thin brown, like almost like henna lines on her face with like vines, and there's some flowers here and there, and there's a lot of the fronts of her hair as well seem to be braided, actually, and within the braids are bronze flowers. So they seem to be daisies, actually. There's 4 of them.
Mel takes note of her appearance as she slowly is like, she's being superficial, and she is debatably the prettiest in the room. I don't like her.
I must hate her.
And then
She's taking my position.
She has her hair's like a brown to gold ombre, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
White girl, classic.
This is a weird question. Does Mel dislike how the crystals make her look?
I don't think she's had the chance to interact with enough people to have that opinion. Or if she had that opinion, she lost it. Because if you remember, like, she has no memories, barely any memories.
Right. Yeah, just like about herself. Like, does she hate the fact that she has crystals on her face?
On one hand, it's the cause of her suffering, and it's like a physical representation of what was done to her, and she hates that. But on the other hand, she likes compliments and likes when people call her pretty, and so it's a weird sort of fucked up, twisted, like...
Well, does she think it makes her look pretty or less pretty?
Yeah, no, like she thinks it's objectively beautiful, but she also sees it as the direct physical manifestation of what is causing her to suffer and what was done to her. And so it's something that she has thought about and does not know how to feel about, basically. And basically what happens is every time someone comments on how pretty she is, she goes through this mental loop of like, do I like this or not? Probably not. Even if I do, there's a part of me that doesn't.
Anyway, just some headspace.
Eve will also gesture that there was a couple seconds pause after this what you gave her, and she recognizes that you seem a little
I mean, to be honest, Mel seems kind of dissatisfied with everyone at all times.
Yeah.
So
she's trying to read into you very right now.
Probably gonna have to be a good row. Read those empty eyes to me, baby.
Yeah, so I think what happens, regardless of what she's thinking, is like she looks at her for a bit, and then Mel just sort of like turns to Eddie.
What
does
a 14 insight get into your response to all of her empathy?
She hates being pitied, and she assumes that everyone says that, and then will immediately move on with their life and forget about her.
Eve says, "Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come off as too, I guess, sappy for you. I mean, honestly, you're one of the prettiest women I've ever seen, and it's. I was just surprised to hear the state of matters. I didn't mean to gush and sort of make you feel bad or anything.
Oh God,
like
now
that.
she's oversharing. Now Mel is like, okay, all right, rescinding my assessment of this person. Now I think she is just bad at trying to be genuine, but she does mean it and just has a lot of thoughts. She's a bleeding heart. Okay, I can live with that. And Mel will be like, she'll like nod, like yes, I understand. No. And she like turns to Eddie. Hi, by the way, just tell her that no harm, no foul. It doesn't. I don't care.
Mel wants me to tell you that Eve, honestly, you're fine. She's not offended. You're doing all right. I think it's sweet of you. She didn't say that. I just think that's sweet of you. Anyways, sorry to socially blunder all over the place.
It kind of runs in the group.
I think let's have a conversation. At this point, the beers show up.
Yeah.
The wine's in front of you. The mead. But first, let's have a toast. I mean, I think it's to new friendships, new ties. Raise our glasses, and he'll raise his.
Yeah, Mel will raise the glass. Mel will raise the glass and like look over to Eddie and be like, "Just so you know, Iollus told them everything about you against my warnings. Just a heads up."
And then Eddie will give a cheeky side grid wink and raise the glass as well. Raphael raises his mead, and then you as well. I assume join
he
into
picks it
this.
up after everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you guys all clink together, and you guys take your
first taste of the drinks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's liquid.
Mel doesn't.
I guess.
Yeah.
You see it. It looks
Okay,
like water.
I
You
will
can't really tell the
say,
color of it. It looks kind of
Drinking
dark.
something has to be so fucking difficult when you can't feel it. Like, actually, like, alright, in through the mouth, alright, and swallow.
Yeah.
You do see that when it enters your mouth, you see some of it spill on your cheek, but then it disappears.
Ah,
And you see that other people notice this too, but it's also kind of like
At this point, I think she's learned to just shot glass everything.
yeah.
really okay.
Just so it immediately goes back. There's like any momentum, so it doesn't like dribble.
Okay.
No gag
Never mind.
reflex.
So there's
Yeah.
nothing there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, so you just shot glass it and it
Don't
enters.
don't nod like that mischievously. She also has a tongue made of stone.
Yeah.
Don't throw me with a good time,
Stone
man.
tongue for a stone man. Alright, so anyways.
For
But,
my rock hard.
Yophael spits his drink out, and so as you consume it, and then it sprays onto the table. I'm sorry, what is this poison? It's like I'm eating dirt. And he'll put the cup down, and then, Iollus, do you want this? I've never been so offended in my life.
He shrugs and he takes it and he drinks it.
I'm sorry.
My man chews rocks.
Mel like lazily just sets a hand down where he spat it out and just suds it up, suds it up, suds it up.
My God, that's so fascinating. How do you do that?
She like goes to respond and then like, all right, sorry Eddie, you're gonna have to play telephone a bit. It's automatic. I found it when I was in a vaguely magical place.
And Eddie will relay those exact words.
Yeah, you can just say that.
Very
You
cheeky
don't worry
way.
about it.
And then Eve will like, oh, okay. So I guess that's okay. I'll leave it at that. And you guys are now sitting at the table together as right now.
So to summarize exactly what happened to me, Mel relays everything that happened to her.
Eddie will stand in the ponder for a moment, and there's a sense of a seriousness that refurrows his brow, and
She'll also include the fact that, like, she thought it was him. It clearly wasn't. And then when she was wherever she was, the person that was examining her also seems to resemble Eddie, but wasn't.
And the note.
Like, magic-wise. Yeah, also the note.
Okay.
Who?
I think first things first here. I'm so sorry that happened to you. It's not okay. He's had problems with this in the past. He's very cagey with his family. So, do understand that you had a floating eye of unknown whatever it is, spying on his family, and there are already many assassination attempts concerning his family in the past due to the nature of his position. So you didn't try to trigger anything with him intentionally, but he has had problems. As of right now, he is on probation
He is not used to your sort of business, he says in reference to...
No, he's an affiliate of mine, but it's something I've spoken to him about before. I think it's best when people leave him alone. As long as you guys are okay, I can speak again, but I can't exact any blood payments for you both. Just
He's and like, no, if you're not pointing at Mel for not doing that,
I don't... She looks at him like, I don't know where he gets this idea that I want to kill everyone. I don't even, like, it makes sense. If someone was creeping on me and my family, I'd be pissed too. I just don't understand why he immediately assaulted me without trying to have a conversation.
Iollus would agree if he could understand her.
I believe it was the reason why things escalated from 0 to max was, for one, it doesn't happen often where he sees people directly, where he is with his family and then he sees something as suspicious as an unidentified glowing magical object that resembles a strong sense of magic that can cast magic. And I think we can both understand that it takes us, what, half a second, maybe two, to blow a hole through someone's chest, and my friend here understands that as well.
Can you all do magic?
Concerning the detect magic spell you had on him,
That's news to him.
Every cardinal is educated, once you reach the level, educated in magic that is for the position of governing authority. Now, the magic itself is a service of power. It's
Hold
used
on.
for judgment.
What?
He misused it here. It was inappropriate. But normally, the magic is used in... I tell you this in confidence, so I don't want this to bleed out of this room into other people's ears. I mostly say
all the
this
people
because...
I can talk to.
But I share this because I believe that we can build something beautiful here, and that our relationship may fruit into something we can both eat from and benefit with. The shadows, it's very I've never had to explain this before. So we are very similar because we both have the same powers. We're not the same, but we're similar. All the cardinals are this way. So that explains that. Best I can do for you here is why were you spying on him in the first place?
He looked like you, and you said to meet in the city without any other instructions, so I followed him to his house thinking that he was you.
Why would you have to follow me to my house? I said I'd meet you at 11, right?
You did not say fair.
I was gonna find you guys. I found you guys. I stopped by the blacksmith, and it was a little early. I was ahead of schedule, so I decided to see if I could meet you guys. I met an hour earlier.
You also said to be, what were your words? Low key.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, we weren't low key, unfortunately. So I hope that whoever talks, that it's mainly counted as insanities. But when I said low key, it's because I didn't want anything to happen. But unfortunately, things did. So there goes that out the window. I never said I would be low key. I'm traveling well within my station, and it would be weird if I wasn't.
Iollus will look at Eve. He wants to know what she's feeling about this.
Insight check.
Yeah, I think I have +1 to that. I love rolling insight. That is, I believe, a 4. So don't, that is actually a 6. I want to see how she's taking everything that Eddie is saying.
Eve has a face where she's very quizzical, but she's also concerned, and so it's just sort of like a pouty lip and a focus, and one side of her brow is a little focused.
I would imagine that she's not taking this great, considering I don't know what Iollus would think, but
So, Eddie, I understand the holy position that the cardinals represent, but I don't know why he's still a cardinal. It's not right what he did to Mel, but I understand a lot of the nuance that can come with the position. But surely there must be other people who are more suitable for the position, who can handle the soulful consequences of that holy authority, you know? And Eddie will mention, yes, but there isn't anyone who can become cardinals like that. There's a very special I'm not at liberty to say, just due to the oath I take as the church. Now, not every secret's mine to share. I've already shared a little too much, but I'm not gonna. It's like if it runs back to the holy city, I won't be in too much trouble. But there is a very thin selection of individuals who may become cardinals, and so we are in short supply. There is perhaps one of us every square 100 miles, which is a lot of time. It's almost a nomadic lifestyle. I may be in the holy city 6 to 10 times a cycle of the year, whereas perhaps maybe people who live there obviously live there forever, or I don't have a permanent station. So, due to the valuable nature of a cardinal, we don't dismiss them easily. This doesn't happen frequently enough where he's become a local legend of fear. It's mostly happened when he's in a certain provincial territory where the assassination attempts have levied against him.
Why are people trying to kill him?
There is a missionary effort. Basically, when you are a missionary, you go out to spread the good word, and one of the cardinal, when he was given authority of an area. Now, most of the area that he, has authority over is amiable and willing to hear what he has to say. There is a certain nation that's small that is not. And so, due to the personal philosophy, I don't even know, I have to ask him about that. But due to the personal worldview of said nation, they think that he is a blight on life itself and that he shouldn't be. Now, I don't believe they think I exist, or else I'd have the same problem as well. And they don't have too much power, but there's been about 3. I don't mean to be insensitive and say that people should pay for what they do, for sure. In his position, he doesn't...
He's powerful enough so that he doesn't have to answer for his actions.
Iollus
Very simple term, yes, but he's also forced to travel with me.
Iollus looks right into Eddie's eyes, and he says, "Maybe there are things he does that the world doesn't like. Things he does that most people don't know about."
If he does do those things, I'm afraid I'm...
Hardly one to judge.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps if what you say may be true or maybe not, I don't know. If he does, then there's nothing really, in my ignorance, there's nothing I can do against that. I don't find myself particularly motivated to bring him to ruin, seeing as how the Holy Father of our city has decided that he now no longer gets to travel on his lonesome and now has to travel with me. So,
And that is punishment enough.
it means that, on the one hand, he doesn't get to act crazy.
Yes.
Hold on. I understand the irony of that statement. But on the other hand, I get to protect him from, say, what we believe to be unlawful persecution. Now, this is a conversation that I'm going to report to Holy Father.
Do you like him? Just like in general, do you think he's worth protecting? Or is it a duty?
One part duty, one part understanding, and then 2 parts frustration.
What good is he?
He's more versed than I am in the scriptures.
What good is he?
He does well when he's well. So most of the time he's fine.
What purpose does he serve?
So he serves judicial matters for people who fall under the purview of the church, which is most of the area here. And then he does...
Wait, hold on. What? So, maybe I'm lost on something. Because every time that people see me do magic, I'm nearly killed. What makes him immune to that? What?
It's not... These aren't public executions. So whenever someone's judged, are removed from the public square. They are imprisoned, and if the death penalty is levied due to the actions that the church deems unlawful, then there is a private execution as to which we will use magic. Now, no one in attendance is, let's say, common folk. No one in attendance doesn't understand magic. Everyone who sees that has a tight mouth about it. When also 99.9% of the time we do our jobs, we're also not doing anything magic related. It's mostly talking, mostly administration, mostly meetings and talking to local nation leaders and trying to pursue various social reforms as well.
Your deity gives you power, but you don't use it publicly.
Yes, we don't use it publicly.
Why not?
Because it's only a power that the cardinals have, and there's only
I mean,
9 of us.
I am literal proof that is not true.
There are a very select few people on this continent that have magical abilities. Magic is mostly related to monsters. And when people see people using magic, the inference is that they are monsters. So it really hinders us when we try to communicate and spread a good message.
You guys are in charge. You guys are in charge. Can't you, change that stigma?
It's something that...
Wouldn't you want to? Imagine if it gets out that all of you can blow up people with your mind. Wouldn't that backfire spectacularly?
Yeah, but I can also create food and water. So it's on the one hand, the power I'm given can destroy. On the other hand, I can bless.
Right, no, but my point is, why don't you tell people about it then? If it's so good... I'm at a loss for why you would have so much power and then not use it to the full extent.
I suppose we're less interested in introducing magic and more so interested in introducing our religion.
Fear.
How so?
You are afraid.
I think most people in power would be afraid of the masses.
And so
if they were
you want them to be afraid of you.
Well, if I wanted them to be afraid of me, I wouldn't be hiding my magic. Most of us wouldn't be. But we'd hide it for the sake of, perhaps I would call it maybe a fragile heart.
He points at your robes.
Understanding.
You want people to be afraid of your church.
I don't get where you're coming at with this, because I disagree, but I'm also not hearing enough from you to describe why you're saying what you're saying.
You levy law to these people.
I think the only people who would fear my robes are people who should be afraid. Because they're evil.
You are a good man. He says you are an arbiter of justice. They can trust you.
Yes. I do not... Everything you've said, while I understand as an ironic twist that you disagree with, I would agree with everything you've said at face value. Nothing I do is wrong.
And he stands up from the table. He is standing at the table looking at him.
If you're mentioning what happens at the caves there, that's under a personal prerogative where these people are not... These people have broken the law, and they've lost in certain rights and citizenship.
What law did I break? What law did Mel break?
You two, as my apology before, did not break a law, and so you shouldn't have had that happen to you.
What if we did not break out? What if we had been killed?
It would have been a sad situation. It would have been something where I'd have to sack the whole crew in that facility.
And I am to believe you.
I understand that you have been slighted indeed. I am sorry. It's not fair. I probably shouldn't hire crazy people to do what I do, but the only people who don't mingle with society are unfortunately outcasted and insane.
So it is right, so long as it gets you what you want.
It's okay to punish those who do wrong, and whether it's an execution
be a beheading or an execution by being bled out, it's still death nonetheless.
And I am to trust that you only pick that it's serving, that you know that they are.
I understand everyone I'd bring into that situation, everyone I'd bring into the place where you guys were brought to after being ransacked off the road by crazy demon monster. That shouldn't have happened. They summoned that thing. It's...
Wait, what? This is new information. What?
Lean in.
I am at odds with Verica, and sometimes he'll make decisions for me in my absence. I visit the place maybe once every month and a half to 2 on my way to traveling towards the western coast of the continent. Right now, I'm making my way towards the literal western coast. I've never been there before, but last time I visited there, I believe there was a forest gnome that ransacked a traveling merchant and then ate them. And then I'm trying to remember who else was there. I think it might have been only her. Yeah, so there are some species of gnomes who live in the forest who are peaceable and fine. There are others who are... There's not much I know.
And he was listening, and he was like, his expression was kind of changing, and then he shook his head and looked back at him. I don't believe you.
There's nothing really I can say anymore if you don't choose to believe what I have to say.
5 would
It's
I?
kind of beside the point. We're not here to morally... I'm just gonna let him finish. Just let him get it out of his system. He doesn't like you.
Yeah. I've been able to pick up as much, but hopefully we can still...
looking between them, trying to figure out what they're saying.
What we're saying is I understand you have a grievance with what I do. I understand that it hurts. It offends who you are.
And for what it's worth, if you want to share with him, I also share similar grievances, but I think it's beside the point for why we're here right now.
I understand that Mel and you both think that.
And he hears that, and he sits back down. He realizes he's not getting anywhere.
I am at liberty to do what I do.
He raises a hand. Let us do business.
Okay. If you wish to talk more about it at some point, I am not pulling people. Let me just say my last ending piece here. I am not pulling people off the side of the road. It's the people who are, let's say, Verica, who may do that to you guys. I've since had a conversation, tried to at least, to go back to the cave. There's nothing there. I don't know why, and I can't get in contact with my grotesque alien spider friend.
Wait, that's where you said the books were then. Do you not have the books?
I do have the books. I had to do some improv on my part. So, I had to make them myself.
Oh.
It took me a bit, but I wrote them down. I don't know if it'll work for you. Perhaps it will, perhaps it won't. Maybe you'll need something else. Likely, at least what I've found, is that in order for people to acquire magic, they must engage, at least in the local area, with magical monsters. And perhaps there are some faint magical connections to greater monsters, or perhaps forest deities, or something else similar to sentience that has great authority over magic. Whenever you can, it's possible to form bonds with these things to gain their power in accordance to that. I don't pull people. The reason why I do these to criminals is because I can harvest the magical nature of their life, and I can use it for what I believe to be good. I don't know you guys' experience with monster hunting. I believe you've done it before, but if you hunt a monster, there is always a magical innateness to them that I believe, at least it's my theory, that you can create magical items outside of them. A lot of what I do is for the sake of experimenting with as such.
Iollus looks kind of defeated. He's quiet now. He's not really interfering with Mel and Eddie's business, but he looks over at Yophiel.
Eddie, sir, I'm afraid me and Eve don't quite understand. I hear two sides of it. I believe you and I can agree that justice is not something to be delighted in. Eddie nods his head. Of course not. And Jophiel continues to speak. I think that perhaps there's a conversation to be had over whether or not people should be simply executed there and done final versus being enslaved to then be executed later. I don't know what you call the scriptures to be. We are vaguely familiar with the church. And then Eve will chime in. At first, when I heard about what you've done, it grieved my heart greatly because I value your guys' position intensely. I think you guys are a moral good for the world we live in. But there is something within me that understands what you're doing is wrong. And I don't know what it is, but what you say kind of numbs that part of me. I think I'm more so sad but interested into what you mean. Why you said you're using people, or these criminals, how you've called them, and you're using monsters from the forest and for the sake of making magical power or items outside of them, right? Why? Eddie, take a seat back.
Mel and Iollus know this, but I've lost people in my life whom I hold dear, whose loss in my life has influenced, for one, my motivations in becoming a cardinal, have given me the pain that loss has caused me, has given me the selected or elected ability to become a cardinal. However, even in such blessings as my life is now, I still find that I dearly miss them. I don't have any artwork of them. They are a small part, maybe not a small part of my life, but they were grand to me. I think that there is possibly a way to bring people back. Magic is this unknown frontier to us. The common person doesn't even know what the term magic is. Yet, its abstract nature that is fundamentally distinct from the world around us would almost imply that there is a unknown potential to it that we can understand. And what I do here is an experimentation to voyage into that potentiality, to that understanding. I hope to one day make perhaps like potions of healing. Or I've heard that the Holy Father can heal with his hands. And what if we can, and I've seen it from a distance, it's magic to me. It's one of the miracles of the church. But what if we could distribute that? What if we could not only...
Everything that you've said about the church so far sounds like they wouldn't be interested in distributing it with anyone but themselves.
What do you mean by that?
What did you mean by that?
I thought it. How are you the one who...
Like you said, like you don't want to tell people about magic because you're scared of how they'll react to it, even though your magic can be used to create food and water and provide essential services.
You raise a good point, but my counterargument would be if I can manage to make magic more physically representable, as if it's a harmless product, and then I can give it to them and they can try it for themselves, and then it's like they're in control of whatever occurrence happens. It's a lot easier to be palatable than if I just say sit still and then I show them something crazy, you know?
Iollus raises his hand. We would like our books now.
All right.
I also want to roll something for Mel, because I've put some pieces together, but I don't know if she's smart enough to. 12.
What did you put together?
I put together that he takes random people that won't be missed, or he has justification to take away, and he uses them for the church's ends. I recognized that he said that the church has an absence of psychic cardinals, and I know that his buddy knows Drow somehow. And so I'm thinking that maybe that's what Mel's experiment could have been, which would have drastically changed the course of this conversation. But I rolled a 12, and so I think Mel is going to just be like, yeah, the books.
So you think that one of the cardinals were one of the researchers with you?
Or they work together.
Work together.
Basically, the church was like, hey, we need more psychic people. We don't have that many. Can we see if we can make some?
Mm-hmm.
Because knowing Drow is weird.
So I have the books right here, and he lays them down. They are...
Oh, are they in common?
I have wrote them in common, yes. Is there another tongue you speak?
And Iollus, why does your friend know her language?
So there is another. What language is that?
Gio, pull out the note. It's the
Drowish.
language of my race. It's Drow. She'll show the note. That is odd, though.
Okay.
Why does he know Drow?
I don't know.
I've never seen anyone like me up here outside of the...
Yeah, and he raises a finger. And then
Eddie
he
knows
points at-
nothing about your experiences in the past.
He
You
points
didn't
over
tell
at
anything.
Mel,
You didn't say anything.
and then he points to ear.
Thinking, did I tell Eddie any of that? Probably not.
I can't think of any good reason we would have said.
Yeah.
I think I don't know him too well. This is the first foray I had with him, so I've been with him for about maybe 3 weeks now. So, if perhaps he's had experiences in the past where
That
he's
doesn't make
understood your
sense.
people. I
That
mean,
we're-
where you guys live, I've never. This is the first person I've met who looks like you, and
I'm gonna roll insight.
Underground, under the ocean.
you're rolling insight.
For the same role that, not against Eddie, the same role that Nicholas did to see if Iollus would put together. Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie is killing and using people for their magic substance. Mel kind of had that happen. A similar thing happened to her.
Except instead of being killed, she was turned into a psychic person.
But then also this other deacon. So with insight, that would be 16.
Doing all the math in your head, everything lines up.
So I
together.
think it's
you understand everything you've said. You've made all the links.
Yeah, okay.
everything.
Really roundabout way to say, yeah, he looks over at Mel. Then he points at Eddie. And there's a
Eddie.
brow raised.
What? She looks at you like shrug.
He points at her and like the gestures at like face and arms, like all where the crystals are.
She nods.
Then he points specifically down at Eddie's robes.
She looks at it.
If you want to.
Why did he know your language? Why did he know the look of you? Why would he be afraid of you?
Eddie, can we talk to him?
Talk to my friend.
Yeah.
He should be, but he might have left.
I mean, isn't he not allowed to leave without you?
We have to journey together, but it's not. We don't have handcuffs together, you know. Normally, he likes to go out with his family. Now, you guys? I mean, is there going to be an altercation?
I don't.
Are you guys going to fight him?
I
Not
don't.
If we are not required to.
Okay.
I don't know
I can.
why what happened to me happened to me. But everything that you're saying sounds pretty damn incriminating.
We would
I
like
think
our books now.
Yes. So, as to the points of the books, I've taken the time to transcribe what it looks like from my end to do what you want.
Alright.
It is I call it, this is upon greater consultation with the powers that be in me. This is the first time I'm seeing stuff like this. It's something I can't do, but you might. It's called, there's levitation, and there's also clairvoyance.
Right.
I'm unfamiliar with these spells, but my inner sense of arcana isn't unfamiliar with these. So I've chosen to write them down for you, and to see if maybe you can put two and two together, sorry, and make things work. This here, and I'm sorry they're a little thick. It seems there's a lot of symbology here, and I don't know what it means or anything like that, but it's up for you to interpret.
He hands her like a fucking, like, college level math book.
Do you take a look inside?
Eddie hands Mel the Player's Handbook,
Yeah.
7th edition.
Do you take the book?
Yeah, she'll take the book. She'll take a look in the book, Reading Rainbow.
The book reads like calculus.
Well, it reads like nothing because
It's-
I don't know.
She can't
Common.
read it. It's so the symbols of everything. It literally it's the symbols you've got.
Also,
graphs, you've got
from a
visuals.
meta sense,
Yes.
she is a sorcerer
Yes.
and not a wizard,
Yes.
which means she doesn't learn from books, which they don't know. But
Yes.
So that theory
Yes.
means nothing to her, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
yeah, she'll transcribe it and then realize that it doesn't even work.
She
takes a level of wizard.
Oh god, no! Multi-classing with multiple spellcasters is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Just organizing your spell lists alone.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it reads like calculus in some areas, but there is also some of the parts you can't understand it, but it seems like there are long descriptive paragraphs that aren't visuals and don't have to do with hand gestures and don't have to do with mental like you don't know much. There's a lot there. In a meta understanding, there is some potential to learn from these.
Yeah. I imagine if nothing else, like, there are detailed descriptions of what it looks like. And so she could, use that to will it into existence by her own power. Just by knowing exactly what she wants to accomplish.
So these are the two.
She gets a finer understanding.
These are the two booklets that I've given to you here. Obviously, please don't share this with anybody else. I think that these mad cave wall scribblings won't be of much use to anyone who aren't like us. But do as you may. I believe there is one other point of information we've yet to discuss. There's the books, conversation about our differences of what good and evil look like. Cardinal Church hymn. Our meeting. You guys really want to meet him, correct? Are you guys going, I asked if you guys were going to just straight up start fighting for your own sake here. I can't set you guys up together if that's what's going to happen.
Do you think your friend could have contacted my remote civilization and requested they create more cardinals artificially using magic?
No, not cardinals. You can't make cardinals. It's
Say
What-
made her.
you are I'd say more. I can't describe what makes a cardinal, but it's a lot to do with a magical creature.
He gestures over.
B, there has to be some form of deep grievance or pain within that cardinal.
And he gestures
She
over
squints
to
at
Mel.
him like,
I don't understand what you're. So you're saying that your race isn't born with the crystals?
no.
Okay. So there was some sort of something that happened to
normally-
you that did this.
We are like you in most respects. These crystals were attached to me. They were fused to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we aren't all born with an eye rock.
Her eyes were taken.
The-
And her voice was taken. And her hearing was taken.
All things that are very horrific, and I'm sorry. We need, as a cardinal, you need to be able to speak, hear, see, smell, come off as very amiable, able to present yourself well.
And kill.
To not kill, but judge.
You
It's-
need to be
But
able.
you have to be able to serve. You have to be able to help. You have to be able to judge. And I don't think if they were designing a cardinal, it would be a miserable.
They are not designing
Failure.
a cardinal, I think.
I think you're seeing correlation where there may not be any causation.
They want
If
a
you
weapon.
if you genuinely believe that, then I won't start a fight with him. I'm not going to start. I understand his drastic actions earlier today just enough to not want to start shit with him. So, at the very least, I just want to make sure that that is behind us, and I want answers for why he knows Drow. Because I'm looking for Drow. And maybe he can help me find leads.
All right. As long as I have your word that you won't seek to scrap.
The only
Okay.
circumstances that would happen is if I learned that he was connected in any way to what happened to me.
Okay.
But like you said, you think that's not a possibility.
I don't. You seem to be more of a man-made or magically made weapon. A cardinal is more of a suffering,
Figurehead.
more of a figurehead, a suffering power. Someone who is, for instance, there has to be a lot of theological depth. and
Regardless
explanation.
of the person's personality,
Mm.
just on the surface, our powers are the same. That's not nothing.
His are, at least, mine. Well, you don't know mine, you know his. I have never said that the powers are universal. They do vary.
Okay, they're similar is my point.
Iollus stands up and he pushes his chair in.
Okay. Alright. Give me a second to get in contact and speak with him here, if you will give me but a moment.
He looks at Mel and
And he will... What does that mean?
he points aside,
What?
towards a corner.
She'll shuffle over.
Do you believe him?
It's an insight check, this guy, at all, so it's really hard to tell, you know?
I mean, do you want us to? Was that a...
If you guys, as a character in D&D at least, if you want to verify truth, there could be things where I just straight up can't believe this because according to my worldview. There's also things like, I'm trying to detect lies, and you guys didn't do any lie detector rolls.
Right.
I rolled
But-
really high once and got nothing from it.
I could roll. I could roll
What
again.
did you mean really high? Like,
I-
what did you roll?
When we first met Eddie, I walked right up to him.
Well, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago at the thing. This
And
is not here.
Iollus doesn't think he'll get anything from this guy. He doesn't believe he'll be able to tell.
All
If
right,
this guy's
I will
lying.
roll it say because I also Mel's opinion. You ask, do you believe him? And Mel doesn't know what to think, frankly.
Iollus doesn't believe that he would be able to tell if he was lying.
That would probably explain why he didn't choose to intentionally
He's
see if he's lying.
He's not trying to check him because he doesn't think that will help.
Yeah.
This man has lied every second he's been around.
Yeah, so that's not true. That is not true. He's been extremely truthful. At least
He's been.
But the way that
here's the thing.
The way that he sees things is very skewed.
He doesn't believe that because every time we meet him, he tells us that he's lying to a different group of people.
What do you mean by that? Lying to a different group of people?
Like when we first met, he's a cardinal, but he's also doing this.
He's not lying though. You think it's lying, but in terms of his
admission of
worldview,
truth.
That's what it is. It's yes, he's being truthful to us, but
upon inquiry.
So Mel's take, and I rolled a 15. Mel's take on Eddie is that he is truthful with most things. However, his worldview is so skewed that his definition of truth is kind of hard to I believe everything I've done is right. Anyway, here's a note about me calling people livestock and draining them for
right.
XP.
It's not that he's trying to hide things from us. It's just that he doesn't think that there won't be a tell because he believes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Mel,
okay. You rolled a 15
on the inside of does Mel's also take is that she doesn't think that Eddie knows what happened with the drow experiment,
right.
if there is a connection, but she also doesn't think that he'd necessarily tell her if there was a connection.
Yeah,
so it's
right.
kind of hard to.
Off of your insight check, you recognize nothing that Eddie has said has had any sense of filter or careful balancing of lies and truth or any fake information.
Sure.
The worst thing is that Iollus sees that these people are supposed to be, figureheads of justice for the common people.
Mm-hmm.
And he has seen, so far, 2 of them be involved with whatever his friend is involved with, and also Eddie, and still be that public figurehead.
Mm-hmm.
And he hates that so much, and he refuses to... He can't believe him, because he's lying to everyone else. There's no reason to believe him.
Is a lie. It's not truthful. Okay.
He's living, and because he speaks of justice and seeing what he has done, it doesn't.
At the very least, there is a sense of disdain and ultimate disrespect towards the criminals that he is handling, and he's calling them livestock. So
right.
You guys haven't brought this up in conversation, but I'm sure there's more.
We did previously, but he was sort of yeah, no, that kind of sucked of me anyway.
When was that?
The first conversation with him.
And that's the thing. It's not that he doesn't doubt that he has a moral scale. He like you said, that moral scale is just completely different.
And Mel, for her own part, just kind of expects the worst in everyone anyway, and so her ability to judge a person's character is kind of difficult anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to someone even as simple as Eve.
Mm-hmm.
She's yes, superficial. No, she's just kind of having a bad time.
She's just autistically alone.
Yeah.
But then he says,
"Do
you believe him?"
She stops and thinks.
You guys are a couple paces away from the table now, right?
Yeah, you went over to the corner a little.
So you guys walked out of the curtain?
No, still in the curtain, but just far enough away that you would have to a polite distance away.
Okay.
So he's not trying to hide this, but enough so that you would have to intentionally look over at them.
Okay.
Yeah. Mel shakes her head no and then nods her head yes. It's sort of like she's. It's not really a great non-verbal way to communicate. I want to.
She.
But yeah, basically she communicates that, like, you know, we'll see.
Middling hand gesture.
Yeah,
nod.
basically.
We will see.
Alright. You'll see Eddie right in the air in shadow, and it's almost runic. And the message will glow purple and then disappear.
Urful.
Then Eddie will mention, so give me a second, sort of close his eyes and tilt his head sideways a little bit.
Yeah, Mel's just sort of like leaning against the wall now with her arms crossed.
Let him first of all leave his family at home, and then we will find a place to meet up. He doesn't want to have this conversation with them around, as he is out with them, I believe. He said out fishing.
If nothing else, I'm good at waiting.
I would like to speak with Mel outside briefly.
So you and Iollus and Mel leave to go outside and talk briefly?
Yeah, we.
Okay.
He says that and like looks to Mel and. I assume they step out and then out.
Yeah.
Yofael will be, if you guys need something, give us a holler.
I feel yes.
Evil nod alongside this.
Yeah, but I'll give him a holler. She sort of just says to herself.
She says to no one. Yep. But he goes outside.
You hear
I
hear a conversation that starts with Eve to Eddie, and it has to do with the nature of the law and what is good and what is evil and what breaks the law and what warrants consequences.
Which is admittedly a large
scale
part of why Mel wanted to avoid them coming along, just so that we could get down to business and not discuss about how bad of a person Eddie is and how good of a person Eddie thinks he is. Because like it's kind of just like there's no solution here. There's no
right. Have we discussed before? Does Mel eat?
She has to.
She has to eat. Yeah.
She is bad at remembering to.
Iollus wants to go up to the counter wherever service is. He goes.
Yeah, she's feeding the rest of her wine to her lizard.
Getting that little bud drunk.
Just like.
No, he's swimming in the glass.
Little Bud whips out maracas and he starts giving it a two-step, like Hispanic Puerto Rican dance. He's trying to go on with the jiggy, you know.
Hey, dancing moment.
Secretly Milo the whole time.
Yeah.
My Milito.
It doesn't actually. It's just an intrusive thought in your mind. Weird enough, but you go up to the counter. You talk to the barmaid. She mentioned as much. She says, "Give me 15. Like, give us a couple minutes. Get some food up for you."
And he's standing there at the counter with her.
So you guys wait,
and he will talk while they're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because he was pulling a move, but so yeah, they're standing there, you know, like in the main area waiting for the food, and he looks like he's concentrating and like really thinking through forming words.
Yeah. Mel just kind of looks sad, like in general. Like,
yeah.
Like
he looks troubled.
Like not even in the like. Usually when Mel's unhappy, she looks grumpy.
Right.
She just looks actually just sad.
Yeah, Iollus has stopped. He's not angry anymore. He looks troubled. And he's looking for his words for a while. And then he says, I would like to explain myself to you. I think we have had arguments before about, and he looks back towards the curtain, gestures vaguely.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been strong. When I was growing up and with the people around me, I have always been strong. And I the idea that I was given in my clan is that those who are strong must take care of those who are not. And they must keep things right. And now I am here, and I see that I am not strong anymore. There are these people that can do things I don't understand, and they can... I am not able to make things right anymore. And that bothers me. But I think I understand why you are on your quest. I think a little more, at least.
She'll like look at him with her eyebrows slightly raised, like, oh, yeah, go on.
You want to make things right, to balance things. There was wrong done to you, and you want justice.
At this point, food slides out in front of you. You get a oven roasted bird. It is seasoned. There is something in it. It looks like stuffing from a meta perspective. There is gravy in the bottom, and it looks like there's some sort of sauce on the side.
Hey
It
Mel, what
seems
do you
like-
smell?
It looks like it's food for both.
And he, there's like a little acknowledgement of the food, but he looks almost awkward, like he's never had trouble, looking right at you and speaking his mind before, but this looks hard for him to say.
Yeah, and the response is also kind of out of character as well, where like she will nod and agree with everything you say, but it doesn't. There's a part of it that like feels practiced to the point where it doesn't feel as genuine. It doesn't feel as like, yes, exactly, you've got it, like, and not even that you've like missed anything. She just sort of like, yeah, that is like a very, very resigned nod.
There is also, and he looks back over towards the curtain, and he looks back at the door. There is just a hate for those who misuse that strength. I don't know if you feel this, but I feel this hate as well. And I cannot do anything about it. I am trapped.
To that last point, she like points between each other, like, you and me both.
But that is because I know that they might be stronger than I am. That is because I am, or I should be afraid of what they would do. But I cannot bring myself to be afraid. I cannot find the care for myself. All I know is that I will make this right. And I don't know if that is right.
Yeah, Mel's just thinking, thinking about like your own outlook on the situation compared to her own. There are a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. Like, always, she wish she could articulate them a little bit better.
Right. He looks at the food and then back at the curtain, and honestly, he'll like sit down, just keeping the curtain in eye view, and he'll start breaking pieces off of the bird.
Yeah, she'll look at it and be like, "Oh yeah, right, food."
You have to do that.
It's been about 10-ish minutes now. You guys are maybe 20 feet away from the table. The curtains are closed. So the imprint of
We see the back of Yophael.
his hat peeking above the top of the curtain. There is a moment where Yophael stands and snaps the curtain in half with his shoulders, and it falls. And Eddie's got as the curtain falls and Yophael stands, he doesn't hit anything, but there is a wooden murakumo that grows out the back of Yophael. And so he's standing there, and it's long down to the...
He's drawing his weapon, huh?
And Eve is seeking to, from afar, placate Yophael.
How far away are we?
You're like 20 feet away.
We're
There's
200 feet away.
So there's no words being spoken. Actually, it's you see mountains moving, but it's not audible yelling. So it's more maybe like a whispered disagreement with like very strong bodily disagreement.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
at
no,
this point in the evening, there's no one else except the barmaid here.
Yeah, no, Iollus is on his feet. Like, if Big Man's drawing his weapon, it's one way or another, he has to do something.
Eve is almost sort of like petting the left arm of Yophael, who's at his side and ready to do this, and like sort of like trying to some way like soothe him somehow. It's sort of like a calming gesture, as like someone might like rub the back of someone to sort of like placate or like soothe them down. And Eddie is shocked and trying to, but also has a hand at his side as well. There was something that was said where it's like, you've never seen the sword of Yophael before.
It's big. It's very big. Very troubling.
That's what's happening right now, at least.
Weird question. How loud have they been?
The loudest thing was the snapping of the wooden curtain and the bench that just...
But like, could we hear like murmurs?
And the table that fits.
Could we hear like
they were
murmurs?
talking, right?
You guys were talking at like a low volume, and then you could have heard murmurs. Now, at the level as to which they're talking with the curtain closed, as a GM, the level in order to perceive that is above your passive perception.
Sure. Mel's as Iollus goes to intercept, Mel will like hold him back, and then use minor illusion to replay the sound of them talking, but amplified.
Interesting.
Like just before the moment that it escalates, so she can hear the last couple sentences, or he can. She can't hear it, but you know.
Oh, that's great too, because he'll have to tell her what they actually.
Yeah.
What did they say?
Assuming this works.
Before Yophael stands, you only hear what he says.
Which is?
It seems the church on this earth is not the one that's been established from heaven.
Yeah, that would do it.
The law of justice has mutilated the law of grace, and I am going to mutilate you.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, that would do it. So I think Iollus, like hearing that, like he's gonna put a hand on his mace and like look at Mel, look at the pair of them, and he's gonna shake his head.
She's gonna shrug. Like, what was it?
He said he would mutilate them.
She squints
so-
like, what?
Big shrug, but but he's watching.
Eve is starting to cry, and Eddie is standing at this point. There seems to be some sort of magical spell in his right hand, that is shadowed in nature and also green tinted.
So here's something really important.
Uh-huh.
Do we need anything else from Eddie? Because Iollus is trying to decide that right now. Of like, we need to stop this, but like, what side do we take?
So the idea was that if Eddie gave us the books, and if Mel learned magic from the books, then we had an agreement to start negotiating, working with Eddie.
Right.
So, in Mel's eyes, taking the books and immediately attacking him would be a shitty thing to do.
Right.
But that's not gonna stop you, I imagine.
Well, no, Iollus is just like looking between the two of them, like really.
So
Because
Mel
there's the
frankly,
practical.
yeah, Mel frankly hasn't gotten to know Jophiel and Eve enough to fully form an opinion on them. For her, it's like, hey, these are people who are strong and could help me, and Iollus seems to like them, versus someone who is actively trying to, or at least actively seemingly trying to get me to the point where I can sustain my own magic.
Yeah, the moral versus the practical here.
At this point, Mel's headspace is like, I'm just not gonna hinder. Like, let's let the chips fall where they do.
To Iolus's point would be, I don't want either of them injured, and they look like they could fuck each other up.
Mel also remembers, or yeah, I can just say she remembers. I can't have her be dumb all of the time, because I remember this, and I guess Mel does too. That when Mel was like, hey, like, what's stopping us from like fighting you?
Right.
When we first met Eddie was like, oh, I could just teleport out of here. So like seeing him go aggressive is weird.
Because
he can just leave.
You see Jophiel let go of the blade and it sinks into his back, and the wood that was the handle and the edge of the blade warps into his body and disappears into his skin. And
is this a natural thing? Like,
it seems like at will he can create a sword made out of wood from his back. Or his skin, or maybe he just summons it that way. Who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a perception check for me, for both of you guys.
Okay.
Oh.
I got no better. I got an 8.
Mel got a 9.
You guys have been intently listening. Over the
Or
conversation,
he has.
Trying to. You guys hear Eve say that...
Is her mask off?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, then
I
Mel
guess
picks up on this.
you took a 9. Yeah. I can't say... I say you do because you rolled a 9. It was... Basically, DC was a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, so... Which is
Meets
very
and beats.
prominent. But Eve says that while the Cardinals may not be blessed with grace, we still can be. And this seems to be something that satisfies Jophiel, and Chasm put his weapons away. You see, Jophiel was actually reaching towards his back, and there was a small nub starting to form from his skin as well, implying there may be something else in his left hand, but there was that's just information for you
Iollus is
guys.
watching Eddie. From what he heard, that was kind of the...
Yeah, Eddie...
What's his expression? He's not usually the kind of guy who will, like, get serious all of a sudden.
Yeah, bear down and go at it.
The expression is someone who is in a literal corner with a 9-foot alien elephant.
A little nervous.
That presents itself as if some sort of just a car of defense. So he's ready to fight his way out of this. It seems. Yeah. So Eddie's very, very serious expression right now. Has a charged spell you don't know, and the weapons disappear for Jophiel. He sits down. Jophiel sits down and is now. There seems to be a conversation that's resumed.
Okay. Mel is going to approach, if possible, like at a distance where like Eve and Jophiel aren't like, oh hey, someone is approaching, and like try and like over their shoulder, like talk to Eddie, like what was that about?
So you approach. You talk to Eddie.
She's within eye shot.
Yeah, basically like looking at him over the shoulder, like, what? Do I need to step in? What's going on?
You're speaking your lip, like your lips.
She's mouthing so
Mouthing
that Eddie can
as
see.
Anytime I do the Mel voice, unless
Okay,
we've
now
established
that-
there's
okay.
a psychic thing.
So I
it's
thought you were
Mel.
walking up to start the
No.
conversation.
No.
Okay.
God, I wish he could.
Eddie mouths back. Theological disagreement.
Looked like a very physical disagreement, maybe.
It was.
She'll sit down.
I am as surprised as you are. And that's what is said between you two. As time moves on, there are parting words. And Raphael, Bo, and Eve. Raphael will put the bench back. Realizes that he cracked it when he sat back down. And
Somebody have mending?
yeah, will put it back, but he is slowly, with Eve, sauntering his way under and around everything and the pillars and stuff like that to the barmaid to say what happened. Barmaid's pretty mad.
Yeah.
So she tells him to get out.
She's got balls.
Yeah. And
Wow.
And Yophiel briefly bows and will have Eve walk in front. And typically how it works is that Eve will always be in front of Yophiel, and Yophiel will always
Right.
have a left hand that's free, close to the back of Eve, as if very much like CIA escort most of the time.
Yeah, and
So
Iollus
it's-
goes up to the barmaid and says, "No, it's fine. We know a woodworker in the other." Oh,
But
Woodworker? I hardly know her.
Yophiel and Eve leave. You see him walk by. Yophiel will look towards you guys and sort of head, and then as if to say, like, that sucked.
My bad,
But also,
Chief.
I'm not wrong. So
there's a.
and we'll walk out. But and then Eve will wave you guys over as well.
Oh, Vera. Shrugs it. Malin.
She like shakes her head like no, like she taps her foot.
like.
She pulls out the note and drow like
Yeah, and then as they leave, they are met with another person wearing robes.
yeah.
Same thing as Eddie. And this person is described, everyone witnesses, it is a brown hair, white male, looked like middle-aged, but with a left side of the face is what I wanted to say. If it's right side, then it's left. But it's sort of like more like aged wrinkles and a light purple. The man standing there in the cardinal robes, pulls his hair down. It's actually long. It's something that rides past the ears down at the neck, and it's
Disgusting. Men with long hair, get me out of here.
it's swept back, clean, trimmed, and there is a headdress, like a thin golden sort of circlet, and then there's chains that sort of ride the hair down the back. There's 3 of them. The man will gesture towards Eve, bow a little bit. What time is it right now? Hold on.
It's morning.
At pretty much like
11.
11. Yeah.
Good 12 exactly.
Good morning. Good morning. Look up towards Yophiel up. Good morning to you as well. Look at Iollus. Good morning as well.
That remains to be seen.
Mel
And a
just
fair
looking.
morning to you too.
Yeah, Mel just like crossing her arms, looking at him.
Yeah,
He's-
Iollus is on his
there is
feet.
the 3. He has had a pleasant demeanor with you 3, but it has been a disagreeable skepticism on his face with Mel.
Yeah,
It's
Iollus
disapprove.
ain't have. He's looking him in the eyes.
I've been. My presence has been requested as to explain what has happened with your grotesquely disrespectful friend here.
She looks over to Eddie, like, I can't imagine he knows how to read lips.
Eddie will actually mouth. You'd be surprised.
Okay, well, she'll look over at him and be like, all right, shall we sit? Mouthing that to this guy, whose name I don't think we even know yet.
Out loud, he says, I would prefer if we walk and talk.
I think we won't be doing that.
What I have to say is not for the common person to hear, much less a barmaid.
The barmaid pulls out the shotgun again.
I think we've outstayed our welcome. It doesn't seem like she wants us here. It's not our place to force our presence on a woman who doesn't want our business. Perhaps we will meet and
we are going.
walk to the pond outside.
Iollus starts walking towards the door.
He will sidestep and he will gesture with his hand.
And
he's actually fairly tall. He stands at about 6'5", 6'6".
He's actually taller than Iollus.
It is very lanky, very human, but can't tell what his body type is under the robe.
Big robes. Yeah, he's standing in the doorway next to the guy, looking back at Mel.
Yeah, she'll follow. She does. A part of her does honestly kind of want to not have the church after her for the rest of this campaign, and so like part of her is like, whatever. Like, this guy, he overreacted, but also I got a hit in, and Mel, the character, can't see the damage numbers, so I think we're even Steven.
There is.
Guess who doesn't think that?
Yeah. Yeah.
There is a faint. You can see the ears. It looks like there's dried blood on the inside of the ears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I think he took
5.
Very few.
10 total. Because there's 3 thunderclap blasts.
No.
In total.
No. Well,
there was 1, 2. One of them failed.
Yeah.
2 of them succeeded.
No. Two failed. One succeeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
5.
So it's 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
there's
not a lot.
Not a lot. Yeah. So there is still some of the dried blood at the ears.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly there.
And she'll like keep the eye on him as she walks out, but will go along. If he gestures for her to go first, she will.
He will wait for Eve, even if I'll walk out, and then Iollus does, and then he does, and then he stands there waiting for Eddie. There is eye contact between him and Eddie. Eddie gives a sort of a shrug with a sort of a middle finger and a pointing at it, and it's like in a sort of a very forceful horse at him. It's almost as to say, "You've made your bed, now sleep in it." So Eddie follows.
He hands
with
him an L.
And then you heat the exit out. Are you guys following his lead, or are you guys doing whatever?
We're following his lead, right?
So
Mel
he leads you out. It's like 3 minutes outside the city. You guys are pretty in a city center, but like there's some. It's not a big town, right? You guys get across.
I'm gonna roll the dice.
Go ahead. What's your insight?
Perception.
Perception. Give it a whirl.
I'm looking out.
Out. Okay.
This guy's taking us somewhere outside the city. You better fucking believe I'm looking for an ambush.
Can I expect perception checks from both of you guys every 5 minutes as to be because you guys are on high alert?
Yeah. So
Or is
Mel,
it just a you thing?
Well, okay. Mel will roll 1 at least initially. Mel would be surprised if this guy is like, yes, and now I finished the job. Like that doesn't really seem like his
Now I
stuff.
have you in my kill box. You are doomed.
That's a 14 for my perception. Iollus wants to know if this guy, because he has seen, hey, these guys are basically in charge of the city guard. He just wants to know if we do need to tango with this guy. Are there going to be 10 people that are going to rush us immediately?
Mel got a 16.
Damn.
Yeah. So
That floating eye.
you guys didn't notice, but there are actually 2 guards looking at the bar.
Yeah, that's
So it's a situation where you walk out the Rustling Pig and you can see all different establishments and all different like people there, and people near the carriage are there guarding it because the carriage is like actually like 40 feet away.
right.
But then across the street from where the Rustling Pig is, because it's if you circle avenues, mainline cities, you guys are just in one of them.
It's a city square.
Yes.
There are literally 2 people across the street looking directly at the entrance of this. It
Sure.
seems like there's also one of the servers talking to these 2 people.
Right, so you're basically saying that the city square is circular, and there are people on the other side of the sidewalk.
If you look to your left, there's the city circle. You look to your right, there's a lane straight out the city.
Right. Okay.
It's pretty much. And then you would pick up that the disturbance and the high-profile nature of the conversation.
Yeah.
One of the servers has alerted the guard, and now they're keeping an eye out.
Yeah, sounds right.
However, they're not present. You guys take a right. You guys follow him. You follow out, and you guys walk out into the grass. It's still the same color as everything else at the beginning of the campaign and everything.
My perception.
Yes, you notice that the 2 guards are following you. There's heads are following you guys. As you guys move, the 2 guards follow about a few dozen paces behind, within 30 feet. They are keeping an eye out at a distance. You guys continue to walk out the city. You guys walk down the path, and then there's a rocky pass on the right, and you guys now walk past, you guys kind of curve around the rock into the grass, and you guys are now walking towards a tree line that's maybe about 300 feet away. And walking down this path as well, this Yophael...
Oh, they're still with us. Okay.
Yes, they're still the entire group is here.
Eddie too?
Eddie is with the unnamed individual in front of you guys. Yophael is at the back with Eve. And this is the order of operations. Yophael's at the back, Eve's in front of him, Mel's in the middle, Iollus is at the front, and then it's a 2-person lead with Eddie and the unnamed other cardinal.
Right.
We're off to see the wizard.
You guys are walking to see the wizard down the yellow brick path that's not there, and it's just grass. So you walk into the tree line. There's actually a pond there, and there's a couple fishing rods as well. There's no one there except a woman.
So there's someone there.
No one there except a woman that you would recognize as the wife of the person that you've seen.
They all would recognize too, because I projected an image.
Oh yeah, I guess you did do that. We saw it on Melstagram.
I am Ostavius. Cardinal Ostavius, short. They call me Cardinal Ost. I have a family here. You have broken that sense of security for them. I now have to move them again.
Why do you fear her?
I've had exposure to your people where I have seen destruction wrought by those who look like you, and I have seen what you can do. And upon seeing you outside my house, a person who resembles a person who has since attacked me once before, I apologize, but I would also like an apology to my wife for you not only snooping, but if your friend who was a human was looking through our window, there would be a conversation. Like, get the fuck out of here. A woman from a people group who I've known to be violent in my past and associated with extreme...
You couldn't say this worse.
Just like interrupting him, just like, not really verbally, but like, she says, has Eddie described my circumstances to you at all?
No. Point being, may you please apologize to my wife.
Mel has the self-awareness to process, alright, it's my pride determining this decision here. She, before, like, kind of breezing past that, she says, so, just so we're clear here, my time in the overworld has been extremely brief. You, lucky me, are the first member of the church that I was aware of interacting with. Eddie here made an appointment with me in the city, and I thought you were him, and so I followed you back to your home, because I thought that's where we were going to meet. I was not aware of who you were, your circumstances, your personal history with my race, which is hardly my fault, frankly. I do appreciate you apologizing, and I am sorry your wife got scared and your kids got scared, because I can understand their fear. But there was nothing I could have... I did not have the context to understand anything that was going on.
Iollus has a terrible thought.
Mm-hmm.
He said people that look like you.
Yeah.
And do the things that you do.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a concerning prospect.
Are there more of you?
Yeah, no, we're getting to it.
Thank you. I am now going to give you my finger as consequence of what I've done. You can accept it or you can reject it, but that's what our law states. You are now fine, it seems. I would have had to give my arm if you weren't. I didn't kill you, because you don't deserve to be killed. I think there might have been, at least through my emotional rage, I was able to recognize that perhaps you are not. While you have approached to snoop through my window, others who are like you have approached to break through my wall.
Why?
And so,
I'm currently
that's
looking
a
for...
longer conversation.
I'm currently looking for...
With his hand, there will be a greenish black gathering here, and at the finger,
You don't have to.
He'll fire it, and it will. There is a hole that's blown out to the palm of his right hand, and the finger flies into the air, and he'll catch it, and it's charred black, but he'll give it to you.
Incidentally, is he missing any other fingers?
No, this is one of them.
Okay.
Eye for an eye, and tooth for a tooth, according to what we follow. I think the personal slight that I've given you is worth this much.
Yeah, she will step forward and take it and give a slight nod.
Now, as to my experience with people like you in the past.
In this point, he will ask his wife to leave, in which she will.
How does she feel about her husband?
Blowing a finger off. Hopefully it wasn't a good
she
one.
was. She turned her head.
Could you imagine if, like, he didn't warn her ahead of time?
She seems a very.
Oh my god!
She was very stoic in appearance beforehand, and she seems to be still of a stoic appearance now, although with a slight grimace with her mouth. She seems to dismiss herself and leave.
There are those, not in particular literal coloration of, say, light purple crystals, and same color skin, but those with vaguely identifiable figures.
Mel to herself thinks, oh, I'm light purple and pink. I didn't know that.
But there are those who, with the same ears and vague coloration, maybe more brown than what you are here, have...
This dude couldn't say this any worse. I have like a bingo card, and the only square left is you people.
There is a specific place that I have jurisdiction over that has employed individuals like yourself as living weapons to live against me and my wishes. I have had to put down one before, one who has similar situation to yourself, and I have encountered one that looks very, very, very familiar to you, and now you look. However, she was older, still female, and skin was a bit more blacker than yours. However, her color...
Why? Why does he feel the need every
You didn't
time?
need to say that.
Every time.
He got all the way through and then was like, but don't worry, she was blacker than you.
As he goes on to describe this, you give me an intelligence check and a history check.
Oh, God. Well, I can pretty much guarantee that both of those are going to be ass. Also, just to be completely clear, he said that this organization has been hired
This
he's worked with them, or that he's being hunted by them?
He is.
Or both.
So piecing the things together, I'll give you, depending on your intelligence check, I'll give you my piece.
Both of them are 0. Natural 1. 4.
Damn, the dice also agree.
For some reason, you feel deep in your heart that what the person he's describing is familiar
irrelevant
to you.
Oh, okay.
You don't know why. There seems to be a mental block.
I
Inside your head, Mel, it's your. There's an intense fog that washes over who you are, and there is a deep
Is that like
dissociation
is that
with the current moment.
okay? What? Walk me through this. Is that like unprecedented? Is that like staggering to me? Like
It's not often that the voice, the being who you're fused with, will open its mouth.
yeah.
It's open its mouth here and there, maybe. Of the current events, this is the most it's ever done. It seems like... Give me an insight check into the voice if you want to, if you're trying to figure it out. A natural 1.
It's not,
Awesome timing for
She has
these rules.
She
You
has
have
the
it-
inside of a blind and
you-
deaf woman. Oh.
You have... I would say it's fair that you have advantage just due to the peculiar nature of
I'll
your
be honest, like
senses.
look.
Do
if
you
the
have a
dice,
strong sense of inner self at all, or do you...
Oh God, she kind of has to at this point.
that's what I was figuring you might have advantage
but like
for.
One more time.
The dice, I don't. If the dice say 1, then I think that's an interesting story option. Which is, if you're saying upon hearing this information, there's just like an absolute miasma of like mental suffocation here. Like, how do we escalate that? I think that's way more interesting than trying to fish for a better number.
It's not fishing for a better that's roll's already passed. You're the voice that's speaking. It's distinct from the mental fog.
Okay.
So what you're trying to sense right now is a qualitative understanding of what this voice is and what it means.
Wow, that's the third one.
Third one is crazy.
That
No
is-
way you rolled consecutive ones.
That is crazy.
I think the dice don't want her. Yeah, I think this is the route.
And like, to be clear, like, this is a very important moment for Mel as a character, and the fact that I'm getting 3 1s here, I don't want that just to be like, yeah, she's stoopy. Like, let's do something with this. Like, what's going on with her brain?
You are slowly... Who you have understood yourself to be is slowly dissolving as this voice inside your soul speaks. You do not understand it. It is an alien to you. It is something you've been fused to unwillingly. It is a blight on your heart, and you feel that every moment it speaks, there's this deep, petrifying fear within you that when it talks, it seeks to rule over you in your current mind. You are naturally opposed to everything that this voice, the vocal, the connotation of it, the words it chooses to speak, the sound of it in your mind, how it feels, everything that you are stands against what this is, and whenever it talks, you are terrified.
So, this guy's talking
As
to
of
me.
right now, all of your insight checks are at disadvantage, and your ability to understand your own emotions requires an insight check.
Okay.
A lot of sensing your inner experience requires an insight check. There seems to be something going on with how you are interpreting who you are.
So what does this look like for anyone else?
So everyone else, it looks like Mel normally bobbles, right? So she'll stand.
Does she?
I mean, it's just due to the nature of like trying to like configure it. You don't feel things around you.
That's fair.
She has a normal person, a very healthy understanding of balance and station.
You have no inner ear.
You have no inner ear, so you will. It's like you'll keep bobbling yourself. She is now completely frozen still.
Mm.
And it seems that she is. You can't tell due to like mouth twitch. You can't tell in terms of eye position. You can't tell in terms of smiling eyes or neutral eyes or furrowed brow or anything like that. But she's just still.
Can I try to psychically attack my crystals?
Eve puts a hand on your back and she'll sort of start kind of like soothing you as if like.
What happens to the eye? What happens to the eye while this is happening?
Your eye grows. It was
It's
normally purple.
Mm-hmm.
It is now pink.
Mm. And it's just still floating there. Can I?
Yes.
Okay.
Psychically attack your crystals, please. I want that so bad.
Give me a.
This is a terrible idea.
Do it.
What it is the crystals would need to roll an intelligence save.
Yeah. Give me a d20 roll. This is just for the GM, and then give me an attack roll.
It wouldn't be an attack, it's an intelligence save.
Is it an intelligence save? Okay.
So you just give them a modifier.
I guess.
What is their intelligence modifier?
I'm going to roll.
You know it would be fucked if
I'm
it
going
was
to
the
roll
same
that
as Mel's.
for you.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
roll me an intelligence saving throw.
That's a 7, and my spell save DC is 12.
12. Okay. So do you add anything to that 7 at all, or is it just neutral?
Whatever you're adding to this would be the crystal's int
Okay.
mod.
What you thought was yourself isn't. Your deepest fears are confirmed. The petrifying hole in your chest is instead a malicious force that rises against you. And what was previously light purple is now pink. And so you see Mel changes colors. So that all the crystals on her body now shatter with a magical energy. But it's so that she is the crystals are noticeably less thick. They are still in her skin, but they're now surface level of the skin, whereas her crystals would previously rise out of her skin.
Mm.
So it seems like half of them shear off to reveal a pink crystal hue beneath them.
Mm.
Well, you are hit by a sort of a mental EMP. What is that? Can I see your spell list?
Yeah. I can just read it out for you if you want. My spells are Dancing Lights, Psychic Attack, True Strike, Thunderclap, Minor Illusion, Absorb Elements, Catapult, Detect Magic, Fairy Fire, and Invisibility.
Upon the shattering, you are now stunned. You stand, but you're stunned. The crystals that shatter fly out in every direction. Can I get a perception check from you guys?
Perception.
Who is you guys? I imagine not me.
Not you. You're Dunzo for the time being.
God, I can't believe I rolled 3 near consecutive natural ones.
Crit, baby. +1.
+1.
That is a nat 20
21.
+1.
You, Iollus, observe, and then there is a conversation between Eddie and the individual at this point.
Right.
Because there seems to be something going on. I think the guy who you were talking to was looking to his left at Eddie, and Eddie's like, what the fuck, I don't know. So you notice that the crystals shatter, and everyone else passes this off as unimportant. However, you notice at about how many tiny these crystals are, several dozen feet away, and sometimes maybe even 100, you notice that in the distance, about 80 feet to the left of your guys' group in the tree line, the crystals dart and beam and start to coalesce together off of Mel, and there is now a thin stick figure shape that outlines the same exoskeleton that seems familiar to Mel, and is now in the forest, and it is now beaming into the woods.
So, okay, to be clear, it's a similar figure, or the crystals from my
how
body?
the crystals pose themselves on your body is the way that, like an exoskeleton,
Right.
it stands
And
in real
it
life.
hangs in the air.
So it now hangs in the air.
The crystals from my body reform.
It floats, and it leans forward, and it dashes into the forest at a very fast pace. You're the
Wild.
only one who sees this.
So, Iollus turns to Eve, and he says, "Fletcher!" and he starts running.
Okay.
Oh boy, he's pulling out stat sheets, everybody.
Jeez, I didn't think.
This thing is very fast. You can just tell by how quickly it moves.
Yeah.
It is about nearly twice as fast as you are.
Yeah.
So, and it floats.
It is the crystals have coalesced far away. If you start sprinting in armor right now, and how fast it's moving, you can see that you are going to be left behind. Do you continue running?
Are we in a clearing right now? Like, are we in woods?
You are in the woods. There's a pond in front of you.
How-
80 feet to the direction I mentioned is further into the woods. With a 21, you saw it behind a tree.
Right.
So the crystals shattered to the floor, and you saw them pass around through the grass
Right.
and around and try to find blind spots, and it then coalesced behind a tree, and you saw it. And it has since started to sprint away.
Quick question: can I action surge to double move?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can do that once, but you can do that.
Just want to be able to hang on to that.
You can move at 90 feet, and you can
One turn.
get there. It's already spent its turn, so you can get to it. If you action surge, you use your action to 30 feet. You use your bonus. You do
Do you have anything in your kit that would allow you to
bonus action. You do movement and your action to 60 feet, and then you do your action surge for another action, which gets you another 30 feet, which gets you 90, which gets you there.
Do you have anything in your kit that would like knock it on the ground?
It's not solid. It's a bunch of little shards of crystal. I can't hit it with anything.
I guess. I mean, everything has HP. That's my mindset. Alternatively, and like I'm reasonable to not do this, but you do have like 2 really powerful wizards that are just here that you could ask for help.
I mean, I assumed just breaking off from the group and sprinting, but
There are things you can do right now that can change the consequences in the future. So, if you do what you will, and we'll respond.
can I close to it?
You can get to this thing.
Yeah. So the
You have it. You can get 10 feet in front of it right now.
because action surge gives you another turn, right? Is that correct?
Iollus, seeing this thing get away, he's going to drop everything he physically can drop, and he's running as hard as he can right at this thing. He sprints, he has no idea what just happened. Mel basically just shed, but it looks bad. And the one thing he's thinking is she has nothing left. She has no sight, no hearing. If her magic leaves her, that's it. And to him it just looks like it is leaving. So he runs as hard as he can, and he stretches both hands out and he grabs handfuls of these crystals.
It is now, the crystals have since fused into a solid cohesion. So there is now an object for you to grab.
He grapples it.
Give me a strength check.
Well, I'm good at those.
I'm gonna see if did we not? Hold on, I need to see if we wrote down grapple rules or not.
Grapple, I actually have the grapple rules right here.
Oh, you do? Awesome. Yeah, because I knew you would do a lot of grappling, so I wrote that down in your sheet.
Mel, during this time when Iollus sprints, you hear the voice of Loveluck inside your head. I've had my eye on you, and I've seen enough. Let this demonstration send you my regards. And the feeling of that petrification that you have in your heart, there was now in the back of your mind a psychotic sort of like actual thing you hear where there's a stutter of the voice that you've been hearing over the past couple of days. From this, it's since cut off and stopped as soon as these crystals broke off of your body.
All right, I'm gonna need an athletics check. to beat a 14.
You grab it.
I grab it. Its speed is 0.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It is grappled right now.
He grabs this thing and he
What do you do?
pulls it as close as he can to himself, and he drags it to the ground.
How violently do you pull this thing? Do you?
He's-
It's a solid object, but you understand it's still made of crystals and that it could still be fragile.
Right. He's not
It almost reminds you of
glass, right? He's not trying to break it, but he's trying to wrap himself around it,
Okay.
just so that it can't go anywhere.
Give me a acrobatics check to see how delicate you can be right now.
Acrobatics?
You're having a. It's.
Cite
How
the
can you-
rules lawyer at him. What did the grapple rules say?
No, its speed is 0. I have
Its speed
it.
is 0 right now. You have it.
Like,
I'm-
I have it.
Yes.
Breaking a grapple has to be written down there,
Yeah.
right?
No, you have to, at the beginning of its turn, do the same athletics check.
Okay.
That's let's see.
While you're looking, what is Mel's ability to perceive the world right now? Does she still have access to the eye?
She conscious?
Since like the crystals, the connection with the eye is like crystals on the eye, crystals on her body, psychic connection between the crystals and her body.
Your connection to the eye is fine.
Okay.
It is, however, it all feels different.
Hmm.
There is while the weight of the mental fog is still there is a weight that is relieved on you, that it feels like there's something within you that is cleared up. There's some sort of, you didn't realize it, but there was something in you that was clogging how you felt about the world or how you interacted with your magic. And it's as if you feel like your ability to use your own magic is less subject to the power within you, and that the magic is now more subject to the will within you. Grapple would be an action, wouldn't it?
Yes, it is.
You can't grapple.
Why can I not grapple?
You use your action you use your movement, which was 30, your action, which was 30, and then your action search to spend another action to do your 30.
Action search is instant, isn't it?
Yes, but in order to close the gap, he had to spend his entire turn getting there.
No, you said 80 feet away.
Yeah, it's 80 feet away, so it's a total of 90 when he does all these things.
Yeah.
But it's a total of 60 if he otherwise.
He has 30-foot movement. 30, double move, 60.
Mm-hmm.
Action surge, move, 90. Action, grapple.
Action surge doesn't give you 2 actions, it only gives you an action.
But you can double. Wait, hold on. Wait. Fact check that, because I'm pretty sure it gives you a whole other turn. That's why I went out of my way to ask.
It says additional action.
Oh, it does. Okay. Shoot, in that case,
Hold
you
on.
wouldn't have been able to reach it.
I was gonna, if you want to make
With your bonus action,
you could make a pot shot to somehow grab a shard, if you wanted to.
Yeah,
It
if
seems,
I can't
it
grab
seems,
the whole
it seems
thing,
fragile enough that if you whack it or move it suddenly, parts of it might break off.
if I can't grab the whole thing, I'm going to grab an arm or a leg and just hold on.
And
Oh,
then
yeah. You
used
know what
it-
you can do? Hold on. You know what it is if it doesn't take the disengage action next time it moves, you can just get an attack of opportunity.
I'm
grapple.
closing. On its
Yes.
next turn, I get an
Yes.
attack of opportunity.
Okay, so do we want to just like retcon the retcon and say that like he didn't grab that turn, but the next time it moves he gets a free grab at it.
And
Yeah,
that,
we can rock with that.
and that was what I did.
What did you say at the end there? You said something like a grab an arm and a leg.
It doesn't matter. That happened in the other timeline that we
Okay.
created and
He
then
grabs
deleted.
it. He honestly, he just wanted to get two solid handholds on it.
yes.
Just grab it
So,
and stop it from moving
Mel,
away.
you are still stunned this turn. The first round over. You didn't say anything, so
He turned to
Raphael-
Eve and said, "Watch her."
okay. Eve now has both hands on Mel because she's consoling her, stuff like that. Raphael is standing by Eve. The Cardinal Ost is talking with Eddie, and they both look to see you sprinting.
And just shedding equipment as he's running.
they both see this crystalline figure that you've beamed towards, and they gather that something has happened with Mel instinctively. That something has happened with Mel that you are currently trying to rectify. Eddie turns to you, Mel, and will mouth, What the fuck just happened?
Mel, inside her own head, just sort of responds to what Lovelock was saying, just because, like, she's kind of like...
You are very discombobulated right now.
Yeah, kind of having a hard time differentiating, like, her perception through the eye, because it's, like, new and different, kind of, and, like, in her own head.
Yeah, Eddie's very keenly focused on you right now. He saw it, but he's focused on you.
Yeah, all Mel can really think of to say to Lovelock is, like, why are you doing this to me?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
There is no response. Do you mouth those words?
Do
they find their way onto your lips?
Sure, they can, I guess. With the understanding from Eddie that, like, obviously that's not a response to him.
Yeah. This is an Austin thing. Did you mention to Eddie that there has been a brokered deal between
yes,
you?
and
Okay.
there was a whole thing where, like, every time we said her name, we were like, wait, no, hold on, we can't say her name.
Okay.
So he's intimately familiar and he knows that we are.
Yeah, he knows who it is.
You are in... Can you describe to me where you're at? You're within 5 feet trying to grab onto this thing?
Yep. You ran up and it's going to start moving away.
Okay.
And as it starts to move away,
I'm going to roll a d20. If it's a 11 or above, you are currently giving this thing 1/4 cover in terms of a shot. Eddie's charging up an Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
well,
So
good thing I'm still wearing my armor.
So if I roll less than that, then it's just a shot to hit the target.
Oh, he's gonna hit it. That's rough for
That's
me.
a natural 20.
Let's go.
So, as I mentioned to flip it, if it's below, he gives partial cover. If it's above, that's what I meant. So you're not a liability to yourself.
I'm
With
so
the natural,
glad I saved these crystals. It would be terrible if anything happened to them.
It would be bad if it would roll double dice because you got a crit.
I'm so glad nothing happened to these crystals.
So a beam is charged up from Eddie's hand here, and with an underhanded push, you see a wave, basically a green and black pulse a pulsed ring that goes down the arm into the hand, coalesces into a beam, and is fired out. And the beam stays in his hand, but stretches 90 feet into the side of this crystal creature, and it takes 13 damage. Can I have a d6? So there's something in D&D where you get a d6, and depending on what you roll, you recharge an ability or something interesting happens.
Okay.
So on things on rolls 1 or 2, it's a percentile chance of reflecting it. On rolls 3 or 4, it absorbs it.
Okay.
And then 5, 6, it does nothing.
Are you describing a spell?
So
or
that's
what do
it's a way of calculating percentile occurrences for something happening.
Okay.
Like you have a 33% chance to dodge this. You roll a d6 and you basically say 1 and 2, whatever it is. So I'm gonna roll this under what I've just described. With shard mines in this universe, they have a chance to anything that is magically based. There is a percentile chance to reflect.
Okay.
3. Okay. Well, so the beam doesn't reflect into Iollus' chest.
Thank God.
The beam carries through this crystalline entity, and then it shatters. And
oh no.
so the center of this thing ruptures, and crystals spray out. And it seems to...
Be fucking dead.
The crystals separate aside from a physical entity.
Mm-hmm.
And the crystals then form back into shape.
Great.
Professor, and then Cardinal Ost then puts his hand over Eddie's and then says, puts his hand up, sort of almost like wrap it up. You guys don't see. Okay.
It's fine. Like you can describe it. Like who?
Yeah,
cares?
Cardinal seems a lot more reserved in terms of fighting whatever this is that just happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their turn.
Iollus raises it above his head.
What it is? The thing? Give me a grapple check.
So it would just be another athletics contest.
Yeah.
So it has to break the grapple. Well, that's not going to do it. That is a 5 total.
You seek to grab it, and you go for it before the crystals have fully formed there, and you find well, you don't have it. You haven't grappled it yet.
Didn't I grab it?
Yeah, we're in the timeline that grappled. You got grappled.
Anyway,
Really?
It gets loose.
He was gonna grapple it next turn when if it attacked or tried to leave its presence.
Oh, so you're basically saying it hasn't tried to leave yet?
It hasn't tried to leave yet.
Okay.
Oh.
So it's.
I guess I didn't have it. Then.
It's your.
I thought it had left. I thought that was the understanding, that it attempted to leave and he grappled it.
That's a good point. Technically, priority is this, then Iollus, then now. What I should do, I need to get initiation.
That was attack of opportunity, basically.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do
and it
is
succeeded.
So number 1, just because
roll
it went
initiative
first, and then Iollus was one that responded second into it, and then I'm gonna roll initiative for everyone else.
Okay.
The aberrant shard mind, it seems to be freshly given freedom, or perhaps an alternative shard mind that has evolved from a previous imprisoned one. Who knows? Is now seeking to leave. Make your attack of opportunity. I will allow you to make this attack opportunity to be a grapple.
Okay, I'm doing it again. Let's go.
So you are foregoing damage and are now trying to restrain it.
Grabbing this motherfucker. Let's hope Shardy doesn't get low.
No, we want Shardy to
Oh, we
roll
do
up.
actually want Shardy to get low. That is a 14 again. Come on, baby.
You grab it.
It's moving to zone 0.
It's moving to 0, and it can do whatever it wants with the rest of its turn. Because that was an attack of opportunity. It's still its turn.
Yeah.
So it's grappled. So now yes.
So it can do whatever it wants.
You grapple it. It recognizes that it can't move, and it then just proceeds to now reshatter.
Oh.
And
Whoops.
move and now move far away from you here.
I'm still holding on to some of it.
You are holding on to some of it, so you have fistfuls inside of your hand right now, but because now that's basically its movement. And then stops.
Yeah!
Use
And it
that.
just turns to dust in my fingers.
That's
That's
an
rough.
action. So then 50 feet is now 50 feet ahead of you now. And now it is your turn.
You were. That's in my movement.
Yes, but you'd have to.
Fucker.
get
Okay.
there. It's a challenging thing indeed. It's perhaps maybe a very tragic stand against your kid, but what do you do?
Yeah, I'm kind of the movement one.
I don't want to do damage to this thing.
I mean, I don't think that. So, like, from what I've seen, there's only so much that does. I think, like, I don't know. It like if it has an HP bar and shattering itself is just an ability, then yeah, maybe that is the case. But like, if we were looking at like from within the fiction, it feels like maybe the only thing that can really affect it could be magic.
I was gonna pick it up and run back towards the group with it.
Yeah.
Like with the
Over
paw,
my
you
head,
know?
just. I can't do that because anytime I grab it, it will just run away.
There is some freedom to do some meta knowledge here, though. But role play with that as you will.
There's not a lot I can do. I can run up to it and grab it, and then it can run away from me.
Yes.
Or I run up and attack it. You know what? With the shards in his hand, he's gonna stand there, panting. He's gonna fucking turn around and start walking back to the group. He's just tight grip on the shards that he has in his hands.
Do the parts that he has shards of, have those reformed? Or is there like just
No,
empty spaces?
There are now empty spaces exactly where you've grabbed.
You know what? No, he's gonna grab that.
It's not exactly where you've grabbed, but they're healed except the crystals there's now less crystals, so things are a little shorter now, more malformed.
Malformed.
Points a fist at it, and he says, "You can't leave." And he turns and he starts his movement back towards the group.
All right.
That's just he's 2 fistfuls of crystal.
We'll turn to Eddie and
I think we should just let that go. We're of no.
I think you're a bitch.
We're under no commitment to pursue whatever abomination that is.
there is a sense of
I'm in a commitment with your mom, dude.
there's a sense of fear, at least in Ost.
You should, yeah.
And then Eddie, whose turn is next, will acquiesce.
Eldritch
Yeah,
Blast again.
I mean, I hit the thing square in the chest and it didn't do anything, so I don't think there's much we can do here. I mean, yeah. That, as far as I'm concerned, ends combat.
Alright.
He gets away. He fades. Mel gets her books. Something happens to Mel that's grievously wrong. Our new party members almost cut off our future potential relationships. Perhaps there's more in the future. We will see. Let's call it there.
Yeah.
I need to run more. Oh my god. I'm so out of breath.